Sidi Hu Pakya Kekudan Dagilu Pakya Kesudadagina Pakya Ketu Danyamechi Makya Kekudan Dagilu Makya Kesudadagina Makya Ketudan Dagi Danyamechitu Jingilo. Ok, buon pomeriggio, adesso facciamo il nostro, come si chiama? Come si dice? Tavola rotonda di astrologia per i previsioni per il 2026, ok? So vi lascio in mani di nostra astrology, va bene? Io sono qui di ascoltare, ok? Chi va per prima? Guglielmo, ok?
Solo una comunicazione, adesso faremo la traduzione consecutiva dall'inglese all'italiano e poi successivamente in contemporanea dall'italiano all'inglese. So everybody needing a translation in English, you will need afterwards. Right now we will do consecutive translation from English to Italian and afterwards from Italian to English in simultaneously. So if you need to have the translation, you can get now the headphones. Thank you.
So good afternoon. Thank you, Lamala. Today we will talk about astrology, no? And I'm so grateful for everyone be here and for the opportunity to share a bit of this perspective, this way to see life, no?
Buon pomeriggio a tutti, oggi parleremo di astrologia, sono molto contento e grato di questa opportunità.
So thank you also for translate. So the first thing that is important to say in the beginning is that I work with one different system. Usually in the West we are more familiarized with the Western astrology that have this strong heritage from the Greek and Arabian system. But I work with Indian astrology. The original name is Jyotisha, means the knowledge of the light or the studies of light. And
Oggi vi parlerò appunto di astrologia vedica, noi di solito siamo, di astrologia indiana, siamo più abituati all'astrologia occidentale che ha origini appunto in Grecia e in Arabia.
Yeah.
Mentre l'astrologia di cui parlo io si chiama Jyotisha o saggezza della luce.
So it's important to say that even we have the same names that I will talk about, signs and these things, they are different objects in the environment. What I call by signs is the stars, and what the Western astrology say by signs is the seasons. So, for example, I will tell to all of you soon that, for example, Saturn is in Pisces, and then after, other of my colleagues will say Saturn is in Aries, and maybe you can start to get confusion by this. And this is not the purpose of astrology. So just know that what I call by signs is the stars, and what the Western astrologers talk by signs is the seasons. Different phenomena with the same name.
Un importante appunto, alcune terminologie sono le stesse nell'astrologia indiana e nell'astrologia occidentale, ma hanno un significato diverso, quindi lo stesso nome per due fenomeni differenti. Per esempio, quando parlo di segni, io mi riferisco alle stelle, mentre gli astrologi occidentali, quando parlano di segni, fanno riferimento alle stagioni. Quindi, per esempio, io tra poco vi parlerò di Saturno che è in Pesci e i miei colleghi mi diranno che Saturno è in Ariete, quindi per non creare confusione è meglio far capire da subito che ci stiamo riferendo a due cose diverse.
Okay. So today, what we will do is call it Varsha Vichara. Varsha means year, and Vichara means investigation. So since the beginning of our relation with time, we are trying to understand the quality of time and the quality of the cycles.
Quindi quello che faremo oggi è Varsha
Vichara.
Vichara, quindi l'investigazione dell'anno.
Investigazione dell'anno, yes. Varsha is year and Vichara is investigation.
Quindi Varsha è anno e Vichara è investigazione.
Yeah. We try all the time to put marks, like here is start the month, here is start the day, here is start the year. All the time is a beginning, But one time that we create this conventional, so we can study this conventional,
Di solito parliamo di inizi, quindi l'inizio dell'anno o del giorno, del mese, eccetera. What you said.
So the point is, we have this data of the 1st January, the starting of the year, but these are not more aligned with some phenomena of environment anymore. This is a conventional by society in our times, not our current time,
Quindi quando parliamo di questi inizi, spesso e volentieri parliamo di convenzioni, quindi il 1° di gennaio come l'inizio dell'anno è una convenzione che si è costruita nel tempo, ma spesso e volentieri queste convenzioni si distaccano da quella che è la naturalità dei fenomeni.
So for example, we have the solar astrological new year that happens when sun enters in Aries. We have the the moon solar calendar that happens in February, that is the Losar. We have many calendars that is aligned with the environment in somehow. These that we commemorate are not so aligned. Is this what I want me,
Quindi per esempio abbiamo l'inizio dell'anno solare quando cosa entra in Ariete?
When the sun enters in Aries.
Quando il sole entra in Ariete, oppure il calendario lunare che inizia a fine febbraio. Quindi è importante sapere appunto di queste diverse convenzioni.
Yeah. So doing some meditation to think what I could share with all of you to our year is I had some idea of some explanations that come from one tradition. One tradition comes from Varamihira. He teach this in the Jataka Samhita. This is a text that talk how to create charts of the community. Okay?
Quindi quando ho fatto un po' di meditazione per cercare di capire di cosa parlarvi oggi, ho pensato di condividervi questo studio
Okay, this book. This tradition from Varamihira.
Okay.
And then
che parla appunto della comunità, no?
Yeah.
Quindi lo studio della carta della comunità.
So then I decide to do the chart of the when the sun rise from the 1st January from the perspective of the center of our temple, So this is an instruction to how to create or how to study the time for one whole community. So this is a study for our Nauso community, what we can learn with this new cycle.
Quindi quello che ho fatto è studiare la carta natale in relazione al centro di questo tempio per capire anche come poter rafforzare anche il senso di comunità.
So what you see here is the representation of the sky in the moment of the first sunrise of this year, using the center of the center. The center of the center is nice, but using the latitude and longitude from that, so how the sky was in the moment that the year beginning.
Quindi quella che vedete è la rappresentazione del cielo all'alba del 1° di gennaio, partendo dalle coordinate di longitudine e latitudine del centro del nostro tempio. Quindi lì più o meno.
So in somehow that everyone that are connected with our lineage will feel the impact of this, no?
Quindi chiunque è connesso al nostro lignaggio sentirà l'impatto di questo.
So as you can see, we have this losango in Portuguese, I don't know the word in English. We have here, this is the est horizon line.
Quindi in questo rombo in alto abbiamo
A linha do horizonte.
la linea dell'orizzonte.
So in the moment of the sunrise, we have Mars, Sun, Venus, and Mercury together in the horizon line, coming with the sun. You know, it's like the king coming with the crown.
Quindi abbiamo la linea dell'orizzonte, Marte, Venere, Mercurio e il Sole. Ok, quindi abbiamo il re che sorge con la corona.
Yeah. So this is quite special, no? So in the moment that the year beginning, we have these energies of this energy of Danus, of Sagittarius.
Quindi all'inizio dell'anno sentiamo forte questa energia di Sagittario.
Yeah, in this word in Sanskrit, Danus means many things, and one of the meanings is who search, who is looking for.
E Danus, che è Sagittario in sanscrito, ha un significato molto profondo, che è colui che è alla ricerca.
So in somehow this new year for us is an excellent year to use the power of fire to purify ourselves and reveal this gold, this gold of virtues.
Quindi quello che va ad indicare è che possiamo utilizzare questa energia del fuoco di quest'anno per purificare, per rivelare la preziosità che c'è oltre a questa purificazione.
So it's not so normal when the planets are together in the sky, you know, when they are all in the same sign. In Sanskrit we call 4 planets together, we call by Vijaya Yoga, means the combination of the win or the victory.
Quindi questa configurazione è molto rara quando abbiamo 4 pianeti nello stesso segno, viene chiamato
Vijaya Yoga,
Vijaya Yoga,
la
quindi
combinazione da vittoria.
la combinazione della vittoria, del vittorioso.
Yeah. So, and if you see the degree of the ascendant was 2 degrees of Sagittarius.
Quindi se vediamo il grado dell'ascendente è di 2 gradi di Sagittario.
And this part of the sky we call in Sanskrit Mula Nakshatra.
E in sanscrito questa porzione di spazio nel cielo viene chiamata
Mula Nakshatra.
Mula
Mula
Nakshatra.
means root.
Mula, significa radice.
So this is the point where if we go straight, we go in the center of our galaxy.
E questo è il punto che se proseguiamo dritto arriviamo fino al centro della nostra galassia.
So also the message here is that this year is about go to the center, go to the deep, go to the roots.
Quindi questo significa che è un anno che ci invita ad andare al nostro centro, andare più in profondità, andare alla nostra radice, alla nostra essenza.
And also Mula is connected with Kali.
E Mula è anche connessa con Kali.
So in somehow, if you don't want or not are able to look deep inside of us, this female side will come out, even in a wrathful way.
Quindi se non siamo in grado di andare alla radice, quindi andare in profondità in noi stessi, questo lato femminile, Kali, verrà fuori in maniera anche molto irata.
So it's really important to understand that this want that will appear of go through, of go adilai, you know, like go far away, research, look for, actually need to be inside.
Quindi ci sarà questa tendenza, questa spinta ad andare oltre, sentiremo questa voglia, tendenza ad andare oltre, a spingersi oltre, ma questa spinta energetica è qualcosa che dobbiamo riversare verso noi stessi.
Another important point is if you not see the Sun and the Venus, they are so close, just 1 degree separated. We call this combustion. So Venus is in combustion.
Quindi come vedete il Sole e Venere sono solo a 1 grado di distanza e questo viene chiamato combustione.
Yeah, and this is an important point. During this year, we really need practice self-love, self-care, self-compassion, no? Because the sun, he is so warm and so light, no? And when Venus is so close like this, the Venus cannot send to our planet the light. She cannot reflect the light of sun. So this means sometimes our ego, our grasping, our self-cherishing can block the capacity of love.
Quindi quando il Sole è così vicino a Venere, Venere non è in grado di proiettare la luce del Sole verso gli altri pianeti, e per questo motivo è un anno in cui siamo chiamati ad avere molta compassione verso noi stessi, molto amore verso noi stessi.
But also, in the same time, these four grahas, no, Mars, Sun, Venus, and Mercury, arising together in the sky, this is the ancient tradition say this is the king with the ministers coming back, or this is the true with the virtues coming back,
Quindi questi 4 graha, quindi Marte, Venere, Mercurio e il Sole, che sorgono insieme, vengono descritti anche come il re con il proprio seguito, con i propri ministri, che appunto sorgono insieme.
So it's really important that this year we open our heart and be a sun, no, be a light.
Quindi è importante quest'anno concentrarci sull'aprire il nostro cuore ed diventare la luce del Sole.
In Indian tradition, we say that the sun is Rama,
Nella tradizione indiana il Sole si chiama Rama,
and the Rama is the balanced king, or the king, the virtuous king.
e questo Bala,
Balanced, like equilibrato.
no, com'è che si
balanzato.
chiama? Rama, grazie. E Rama è chiamato anche appunto il re in equilibrio,
O rei giusto.
o il re giusto, ok.
So we would say that it's important to us become as Rama. He is the king, not because he have power against the others, but because he increased the qualities of everyone in the kingdom. No, so he is a king of lead the others to then be the best.
Mhm. Quindi è il re non nel senso che opprime, che ha il potere di oppressione, ma il re nel senso di guida, nel senso di far emergere in ognuno le qualità migliori.
So this year is a good year to emulate this, like be full of light and increasing the qualities of our family, friends, co-workers.
E quindi questo è un po' quello a cui siamo chiamati anche noi, risplendere della nostra stessa luce e riflettere questa luce negli altri, portando gli altri a manifestare anche essi la loro propria luce.
Okay, the Lord of our year as a community is Jupiter.
Il reggente della nostra comunità è Giove.
In this year.
Per quest'anno.
And Jupiter, in the moment of the sunrise, was in Gemini, in the west horizon.
E Giove all'alba del 1 gennaio era ad ovest
Gemini.
in Gemelli.
Yeah, and Jupiter was retrograded.
Ed era retrogrado.
This not means he was going back, no planet going back, but this is a visual phenomenon.
Quindi non significa che sta andando indietro, nessun pianeta può andare indietro, ma è un fenomeno più visivo.
But it's so important because Jupiter, being the representation of our community, is a good sign. We are a spiritual community, so this means that we will be able to continue doing and following our motivation. But be retrograded means that we need to be careful and always during our days in the morning, all the year, reveal our motivation, reveal our aspirations, reveal why we are doing what we are doing.
Quindi il fatto che appunto ci sia Giove come reggente della nostra comunità per quest'anno è una cosa molto positiva, essendo una comunità spirituale. Questo indica che avremo successo nel perseguire questo nostro obiettivo di vita, per quest'anno almeno, ma essendo Giove retrogrado questo chiama a una particolare attenzione, dove ogni giorno siamo chiamati a rivedere e rivisitare la nostra motivazione, la nostra direzione.
And that is quite symbolic that Jupiter are in Gemini. Naturally, Jupiter not work very well there because Mercury, that is the lord of, Jupiter in Gemini have some difficulties usually. But if we direct our study and try to not lose ourselves in infinite subjects, but have some focus, have some organization in what you want to learn, this will be a good medicine for this tendency of going all directions.
Quindi Giove in gemelli in realtà non è che funzioni proprio benissimo perché c'è questa tendenza di espandere troppo verso diverse direzioni e quindi perdersi in queste diverse direzioni, ma se riusciamo a mantenere la nostra concentrazione univoca verso pochi piccoli obiettivi, allora riusciremo ad avere successo in
And you
questo.
can not see that the Jupiter, that is the Lord of the ascendant, is in the seventh house, that is the house of the other. So this year is also trying to teach us to how to take ourselves a bit out from the center of everything and see the others, see who is close of us, see who is in front of us.
Quindi verremo chiamati quest'anno anche a non essere così autoreferenziali, ma a vedere l'altro, e questo è dato da
Jupiter is in the seventh house.
da Giove nella settima casa,
So, because Jupiter is the Lord of the ascendant, no?
essendo Giove il reggente dell'ascendente.
And the other important point is Jupiter is looking for the ascendant and also, so means that this year everyone in their own personal sphere will feel more connected with the Guru, the holy beings, and the spiritual path in general, no?
Quindi essendo Giove direzionato verso l'ascendente, cioè sta guardando appunto l'ascendente, questo significa che ci sentiremo molto più connessi ai nostri guru, agli esseri divini, ai Buddha.
So let's now talk about another subject that is important, that is to Indian astrology, is the eclipses.
Adesso passiamo a un altro argomento molto importante nell'astrologia indiana, che sono le eclissi.
So during our year, we will have 2 solar eclipses and 2 lunar eclipses.
Avremo 2 eclissi solari e 2 eclissi lunari quest'anno.
So the first eclipse that will happen is one annular solar eclipse that will happen 17 February.
Il 17 febbraio ci sarà la prima eclisse solare.
Is one annular eclipse.
Anulare?
This doesn't matter.
Ok. Ok,
Yeah.
ok.
Yeah, annular. It's,
Sì.
So this eclipse, to the Indian tradition, will happen in Aquarius.
Per la tradizione indiana questa eclissi avverrà in Acquario.
And the eclipses are important if you have a personal planet or ascendant in Aquarius, then it's relevant to your personal life. But in general, these eclipses in Aquarius will bring the energy of necessity of social chains. Like also we become part of the social chains. That is important.
Questa eclissi sarà in Acquario, sarà molto più sentita da chi ha qualche pianeta in Acquario, ma in generale possiamo dire che farà riferimento a un senso di giustizia sociale dove tutti noi ci sentiremo in qualche modo parte di una possibile mutamento all'interno della società.
So Aquarius is related always, you probably know the symbol of this man with the nectar from the god helm, and he's putting this in the world. He's sharing what the gods want to just to themselves, he's sharing with everyone, no?
Quindi l'iconografia dell'acquario è quella del condividere il nettare divino con gli esseri umani.
So this year also is about in the beginning found inside ourselves this precious light and share with everyone.
E quindi, come dicevamo anche prima, questa prima parte dell'anno sarà incentrata sul riscoprire la luce interiore che abbiamo per condividerla con gli altri.
But also take responsibility for who is in pain, who is in suffering. Take responsibility to provide good conditions for others.
Ma anche fa riferimento al prendersi la responsabilità di chi sta male, quindi del benessere degli altri.
Okay. The second eclipse, the lunar eclipse, will happen 3 Mars, the 3rd Mars, and this will have more the influence of lion.
Quindi l'eclissi lunare invece avverrà il 3 marzo e qua avremo di più l'influenza del leone.
So the lunar eclipse will be more about to our identity, and somehow we will have opportunity to rebuild our identity.
E questa eclissi ci darà l'opportunità di rivedere e ricostruire il nostro senso di identità.
Then the next solar eclipse will be in August, 12 August.
Il 12 agosto invece avremo la seconda eclissi solare.
And this solar eclipse will be a total solar eclipse and will happen in Cancer.
E sarà un'eclissi solare totale e sarà in Cancro.
And Cancer have this connection with two things, no? Our capacity to enjoy, but also our relation with family.
E Cancro fa riferimento alla nostra capacità di godere della vita e fa riferimento anche alla famiglia.
So in August, we will be invited to see the good parts, but also the challenging parts of our connection with who we call by family.
Quindi in questo caso saremo chiamati a vedere e a superare le sfide che esistono all'interno del nostro campo relazionale con la famiglia.
But August will be a special moment because this eclipse will involve Jupiter, and Jupiter will be Ucha, will be exalted. So this means that month is really special to our spiritual practice. That moment during the eclipses, naturally the winds, our energies go to the center, and the energy of our gurus, the energy of the lineage will be so strong. So it's really good to spiritual practice in that moment.
Quindi oltre a questo sarà un momento anche molto importante per la nostra pratica spirituale, perché in particolar modo nelle eclissi i venti naturalmente confluiscono verso il canale centrale e quindi sentiremo molto di più la connessione con i nostri guru, con la nostra pratica spirituale, quindi è una grossa opportunità di pratica anche questo momento.
Also 28 of August, we will have a partial lunar eclipse.
Il 28 di agosto avremo una parziale eclissi lunare
That will have the energy of Aquarius again.
che avrà l'energia dell'acquario ancora una volta.
So again, in the ending of the year, we will be again invited to take responsibility for the social change.
E in questo caso quindi vuol dire che alla fine, verso la fine dell'anno, saremo chiamati un'altra volta ad essere coinvolti in un cambiamento sociale, della società, un cambiamento sociale.
And Aquarius is who have this realization that in the things that Lama Michel was telling us last days, Aquarius see that he lives in a golden age, but he understands that his purpose is to work for who lives in a degenerate age, you know?
E come anche detto da Lama Michel Rinpoche qualche giorno fa, l'Acquario ha questo obiettivo, quello di, sebbene lui viva nell'era d'oro per se stesso, per le proprie condizioni che ha, il suo obiettivo è quello di lavorare a beneficio di chi invece non vive in quest'era d'oro.
Okay, so also, it's so small this, let I put more open. This is, it's so small, sorry. Okay, also it's in Portuguese, so anyway, this is some list of the important movements of Jupiter-Saturn.
Quindi questa è una lista di movimenti importanti di Giove e Saturno.
Yeah, so right now in this moment Jupiter is retrograded until 11 March of 2006.
Quindi come abbiamo detto, in questo momento Giove è retrogrado e rimarrà così fino all'11 marzo del 2026. Okay.
So Jupiter in retrogradation is putting us in this point of doubt, with direction take, with decision take, what I do. I'm in doubt, maybe I need to review my life, I need to review my choice, these things, you know. But then from Mars, when Jupiter get back his direct movement, we will feel more empowered to put in practice all the things that we are feeling, we are experiencing. From Mars in front, we will have more energy and more trust in our capacity to put in practice.
Quindi in questo momento, poiché Giove, come abbiamo detto, è retrogrado, possiamo avere questa sensazione, questi sentimenti interni di dubbio, di non saper cosa scegliere, quale strada prendere, quindi è caratterizzato molto dal dubbio, dall'incertezza, mentre dall'11 marzo in avanti, quando Giove ritornerà appunto nella sua direzione, riacquisiremo grande fiducia in noi stessi, saremo molto più in grado di prendere queste decisioni che prima ci mettevano appunto in situazioni di insicurezza.
And then from 1st June until 31 October, Jupiter will enter in Cancer in the sidereal perspective, sure.
E dal 1 di giugno fino al 31 ottobre, Giove entrerà in Cancro.
And each sign, each planet they have their own humor. We call this by Avasta. This, like us, have like I am Albagnano, I'm happy. I am Kathmandu, I'm happy. I am Brazil, I'm more or less, but I'm in home. Some kind like this, you know. So the planets also. And when Jupiter are in Cancer, he's exalted. He's full of joy.
Quindi anche i pianeti, come noi esseri umani, sono caratterizzati da degli umori, possono sentirsi più o meno bene, come noi quando siamo in una parte del mondo piuttosto che in un'altra, e quando Giove si trova in Cancro è esaltato, quindi è molto gioioso.
So this period of the year, for sure, we will have problems. I'm not saying that every problem will disappear, but the point is the environment will be inviting us to feel joy and to be expansive, to open ourselves, you know. And it's beautiful because it's a moment where here, at least, is so warm, you know. It's a period where we have a lot of life here. So it's a good opportunity to use that moment to manifest all our aspirations and trust in ourselves.
Quindi Giove in Cancro esaltato, quindi molto gioioso, significa che ci spingerà anche a noi a godere di questa gioia, anche se chiaramente non sto dicendo con questo che non esisteranno problemi dal 1 di giugno al 31 di ottobre, ma nonostante magari le difficoltà, diciamo che tutte le condizioni esterne ci porteranno naturalmente ad uno stato di gioia, o cercare comunque di cogliere questa gioia che possiamo appunto provare date queste condizioni che abbiamo, sia appunto planetarie, ma anche dell'ambiente, perché qui in Europa, in Italia soprattutto, a giugno è anche un periodo molto caldo, quindi dove c'è vita, dove c'è molta vita, dove c'è molta luce, quindi anche l'ambiente, la natura stessa, diciamo che naturalmente ci accompagna verso uno stato interiore di maggiore gioia.
So in our personal lives, you can see which house is Cancer. For example, if it is the house related with job, if it's the house related with family, is communication, that part of your life, you have a special opportunity to increase and make that the best possible, you know? So you can discover this, search in internet, or I don't know, talk with someone that can calculate your charts to discover.
Se guardate anche la vostra propria carta natale, guardate a quali pianeti avete in Cancro, in quali case sono i pianeti in cui sono in Cancro, no?
Okay.
Giusto?
In which house do you have Cancers?
Ah, ok. Quindi se guardate in quali case avete il Cancro, questo vi può dare un'indicazione di quello che potreste incrementare. Quindi per esempio se avete Cancro nell'aspetto della comunicazione piuttosto che della famiglia o del lavoro, questo vi chiamerà a poter incrementare ed espandere questo aspetto della vostra vita.
Okay, then you can search the
Chiaramente questo, sì. Product placement, quindi chiaramente questo significa o sapete quale case avete in Cancro, oppure potete appunto farvelo calcolare da qualche astrologo qualificato.
Anyway, so other important movements is related with Saturn that will happen 26 July. Saturn will start to be retrograded until 11 December.
Quindi Saturno inizierà ad essere retrogrado dal 26 di luglio al
11 December.
11 dicembre.
So Saturn retrograded is a bit challenge because Saturn means democracy, means order, means responsibility and maturity. And when this is started to be retrograded, means that maybe we lose ourselves in joy and being a bit child in life, you know? So then Saturn enter because Jupiter is so expensive, and then maybe we can lose our maturity in this process, you know. And then Saturn comes and say, look, but you need to be mature, you need to have discipline, you need to have commitment, you know, just expand in all directions, maybe not to work very well all the time, you know. So need discipline, need maturity, need responsibility.
Quindi Saturno rappresenta appunto il nostro senso di maturità, di disciplina, e essendo retrogrado, quindi dal 26 di luglio, questo significa che c'è il rischio di perderci in tutta questa espansione e gioia che abbiamo provato grazie a Giove in Cancro, quindi siamo chiamati prima ad espandere, a godere della vita, e poi veniamo un po' richiamati all'ordine, o meglio dobbiamo cercare di richiamarci noi stessi all'ordine, perché appunto Saturno non ci aiuterà in questo, perché appunto essendo retrogrado ci potrà spingere invece a perderci in questa espansione che abbiamo provato fino a quel momento.
Okay. And then in the finish of the year, there, from 13 December until the next year, doesn't care to us right now. We want to know about 26, but from 13 December, Saturn also will become a retrograde.
Jupiter.
No, Saturn. It's Jupiter. Yes, it's true. Sorry, Jupiter will be retrograded also. You know, and just to understand when Jupiter becomes retrograded, as we are living right now, is a deep moment to review our spiritual commitments, to review our, in the truth, in what we believe, what is our trust, where we put our trust, you know? So the finish of the next year, this will be really strong again.
E finiremo il 2026 come lo iniziamo, quindi con Giove retrogrado, e quindi con una chiamata a guardarci interiormente e cercare di capire veramente dove stiamo andando, quindi rivedere un po' la nostra motivazione, la nostra direzione.
So,
E rivedere anche quello in cui crediamo.
So I would say that it's important that we become balanced, harmonic Sagittarius, you know, and that we believe in our capacity to decide our life by ourselves, based in wisdom and compassion, you know, but trust in ourselves, have this security to be inside of ourselves, you know. I don't know if it makes sense.
Quindi quello a cui siamo chiamati è appunto trovare questo equilibrio dentro di noi, avere fiducia in noi stessi e ritrovare quell'equilibrio appunto con l'amore e la compassione verso noi stessi e verso gli altri.
The good thing also is this year for our community, the moon was in Taurus, so the moon is exalted also, and is in a specific star that we call Rohini.
Quindi per la nostra comunità vediamo come la luna è in toro, quindi è esaltata e viene chiamata quando è in toro?
No, she's
in
aligned
una
with
stella.
this
Ed
specific star,
è allineata con una stella particolare che viene chiamata Rohini.
Rohini. And then it's very, very, very fast because it's already time for my colleagues to say. Rohini have this mythology in India of 27 sisters, are the 27 stars or nakshatras, and they are all more or less the same age. And the moon, that was a man in this case, Chandra, wanted to marry with one of the sisters, that was Rohini, that was the most beautiful sister.
Quindi c'è questa storia sanscrita che parla della luna Chandra, che era innamorata di una delle 27 stelle, sorelle del cielo, la più bella appunto era Rohini.
And then he went to the father of these 27 sisters, no? And said, look, I want to marry with Rohini. You allow, you give me, anyhow. And then the father said, yes, you can marry with Rohini, but you know, I have 27 daughters. I cannot just to make just one make marry. If you marry with Rohini, don't have another person to marry with the other, so you need marry with all 27 daughters.
Quindi la luna andò dal padre di queste 27 stelle sorelle e per chiedere in mano appunto la figlia Rohini. E il padre di queste 27 sorelle rispose: va bene, però non essendoci altri pretendenti per le mie altre figlie non posso dare in moglie solo una, quindi te le devi prendere tutte e 27 sostanzialmente.
And then he was so happy. He said, okay, now I have 27 wives,
Wives.
no? But then he said, but look, it's not so easy. You need to give a house to each one. And you need to stay each one with one, you know?
Each day.
Each day with one and give the same love to all.
E il padre disse: però sposarle non è abbastanza, devi dare una casa a ciascuna di queste 27 figlie e stare ogni giorno con una di loro e dare lo stesso amore che dai a Rohini anche a tutte le altre.
And Chandra, the moon, he was really brave, no? He said, okay, I can do it, no? And then he started. He was in the house of the first sister, Ashvin. Then the second day he went to the third house, to the second, Bharani, then Kritika. And then when he arrived in Rohini, he stayed 2 days and a half. He could not go away in the first day, no? So he rested there 2 days and a half. And then this create a big cause in the family, no?
E quindi Chandra, la luna, fece esattamente questo, fu molto coraggioso, decise di accettare questa proposta, quindi diede a ciascuna delle figlie stelle una casa e ogni giorno, il primo giorno è stato con la prima stella, il secondo giorno con la seconda e via dicendo, e quando arrivò a Rohini talmente tanto era l'amore che provava verso questa stella che non riuscì a rimanere solo un giorno, ma decise di rimanere per 2 giorni e mezzo e questo creò molto caos all'interno della famiglia.
And one interesting thing, you know, when we look to the moon, each day the moon is aligned with one star. When you arrive in Rohini, the moon is 2 days and a half there, you know.
E questo appunto è il motivo per il quale quando guardiamo alla luna vediamo che ogni giorno cambia la posizione ed è allineata con una stella differente e quando arriva proprio a Rohini vediamo che ci rimane per 2 giorni e mezzo.
So it's like in our life, we have this object of beautifulness, I don't know, that we are searching for, no? And then we take so much commitments to have that one, no? We take infinite commitments, sustain all a castle of appearance, you know, to have that small moment that is short, you know?
E quindi è interessante anche vedere nella nostra vita come agiamo anche similmente, quindi quando abbiamo il desiderio verso un qualcosa, l'ottenimento di qualcosa di bello, prendiamo tantissimi impegni, creiamo un castello di impegni per poter riuscire ad arrivare ad ottenere quella cosa in particolare.
Like, you know, when we are falling in love and we promise all the universe and all the things that we know that we cannot do, no? And then to have that joy moment, you know, you try to sustain an infinite castle, you know. So this is giving a message to us, like, okay, exist these objects of enjoyment, and you can enjoy without do all these commitments and create all these calls, you know.
Mm-hmm. Quindi è un po' come anche in amore, se ci pensiamo magari per ottenere il nostro oggetto di amore, facciamo infinite promesse che poi magari non riusciamo a sostenere nel tempo e tutto questo ve lo dico perché appunto, come abbiamo detto, la fine dell'anno ci chiamerà a stare un po' più attenti su quello che sono la nostra espansione, no? Come Giove ci chiamerà, come abbiamo detto, a fare, quindi espandere alla ricerca del bello, espanderci sempre di più, ma stiamo attenti a non prendere troppi impegni che poi non riusciamo poi a sostenere nel tempo, a mantenere nel tempo, appunto con questo richiamo alla disciplina a cui alla fine dell'anno saremo chiamati a tornare.
And so the main message is this: become really, really true with ourselves, understand that this want of go far away is actually go deep, you know, and really take care to not escape from reality, be honest, enjoy without promise the moon, you know, like enjoy the moment, take responsibility for the others' happiness.
Quindi in conclusione appunto cerchiamo di volerci bene questo anno, di vedere questa ricerca di espansione, di andare sempre oltre come una necessità di entrare oltre dentro a noi stessi, quindi non tanto riversarla esternamente quanto dentro di noi. Stiamo attenti a prenderci cura e carico della sofferenza degli altri, come facciamo anche per noi stessi, e stiamo attenti anche a prenderci le giuste responsabilità senza prenderci troppi impegni che non riusciamo a sostenere, ma quelli che prendiamo invece cerchiamo di mantenerli.
And always, all the time, try to question yourself. What in this moment make all the life? O que nesse momento faz toda a vida valer a pena?
E cerchiamo di domandarci anche cosa di tutto questo fa sì che la vita ne valga la pena. Qual è la radice, no? Come dicevamo anche all'inizio.
Yeah. So look to the root all the time.
Quindi guardare alla radice.
So thank you.
Grazie a tutti.
Thank you, Mama.
Solo un attimo il tempo di andare in cabina per la traduzione dall'italiano all'inglese. Grazie.
Scambiamo astrologo. Ok, buongiorno a tutti.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon, actually.
2026.
2026.
Io ho imparato a leggere
I learned to read the system, the Western system, astrology,
anche se a volte
even if sometimes talking with Guilherme, I have the, I fall into temptation of changing systems sometimes, but I do this that I learned for now, and the reading of the Western astrology.
anche una delle differenze
One of the main differences
maggiori al di là de tutto il
beyond the paradigm of that Indian astrology uses, that for Western astrology there are 3 planets called transpersonal planets that Indian astrology doesn't take into consideration. They are planets that have been discovered, I think, in sync with what the humanity was living in that moment when they were discovered, that are Uranus, Saturn, and Pluto. Sorry, Uranus, Neptune, and Plato.
Questi pianeti
These planets are transpersonal planets because the planets in astrology represent functions of our psyche, and these 3 planets, called transpersonal, are planets that relate with forces that go beyond our personality system. They represent some forces that go beyond humanity, the human. So they represent the ocean, the power of the center of the earth, the sky. They are things that are unthinkable for us as forces. And when we have in our personal maps the presence of an intense presence of one of these planets, this, our conscious, as first movement, what it does is to go out of balance because it has to confront a force that our conscious does not understand. So at the beginning, the first movement, the first psychic movement, for those that have these big presence in our map of these planets, of these forces, is, whoa, what do I do with this? I need to find a path to slowly understand how to use these forces in my daily life, in my organization, my psychic organization. Do you understand me? If you don't understand me, please let me know, okay? Thank you. So 2026, the start of a new story. I put this title, very sensational title, but I could have put 2026, Mamma Mia. There's no translation for this. Because really, this year is going to be, I don't even know what word to use, exciting, spicy.
Come cosa generale,
As a general thing, everything that I will see, I say in a very general and collective way.
come generalità,
So in general, we are going through
si dice di una matrice
a matrix
di acqua,
of water,
acqua terra, a una
earth,
matrice di
to a
fuoco,
matrix
aria.
of fire and air.
Per diversi motivi.
So this is for different reasons.
Abbiamo avuto per quasi 200
We had for 200 years
delle congiunzioni
the conjunctions,
Saturno-Giove
Saturn,
in
Jupiter,
segni di
in
terra.
signs of earth
E
signs.
adesso queste
And now
congiunzioni
these
inizieranno
conjunctions
a
will
succedere
start
in segni di aria.
being inside of
E
air
un'altra
signs.
cosa che è successo,
And another thing happening, or that has happened, is that these transpersonal planets
stanno passando
are
di
going
segni di
through
acqua e terra
water
a
and
segni
earth
anche
signs
di
to
fuoco, aria.
signs of
Quindi
fire
quello
and air.
a livello generale
So
va
in a general level, talking about elements,
passare
this is telling us that we are going from, as a collective, going from,
cambiare il nostro paradigma.
so it's asking us to change paradigm, because we came from a long period where we put more focus on the material world, work for life, having and accumulating,
la stabilità.
stability.
E adesso
And now,
da poco tempo qua le cose che noi iniziamo a valorizzare
the things we are trying to put more focus on are very different things. So there has been this shift.
l'altro giorno, 2 anni fa,
2 years ago, I was talking
con un'amica che
with a friend,
del mondo aziendale, no? E lei
and she
diceva
works
che
in a company, and she says
quando
that
i
when
giovani
young
a
people
essere
come
assunti,
in the company,
non è la prima cosa che chiedono
the
quanto
first
tu
thing that they
guadagni
ask
sul
is not
lavoro,
how much they are going to gain, so the monetary part, but they think, how much free time will I have?
se potrò imparare
If
cose
I
nuove
will
al
be able
lavoro.
to learn new things at work.
Proprio è un cambio
So it's a very, very
questo di
different
quanto tempo libero,
paradigm.
quanto spazio
This
avrò per me.
this focus on free time instead of money, or how much knowledge can I gain in this new job.
Ha a che vedere con una
This has more to do, for the paradigm with the element of air.
molto generale.
So it's something, of course, very general.
Questi pianeti
These planets, these transpersonal planets,
questi pianeti transpersonali che raccontavo, in poco tempo,
in
un periodo di
in not such a long time, so in 18 months,
5 pianeti, i
5
pianeti più
planets,
lenti,
the lowest 5 planets that are the 3 transpersonal planets and the 2 planets and the 2 social planets that are Saturn and Jupiter, they change the sign and everyone goes at their own rhythm. Here you can see the different rhythms that I wrote on this diagram. And the planets, they organized themselves and they changed, everyone changed from one sign to another. And this usually is something that never happened so intensely. In such a brief time, having this abrupt change. We can taste it in the air, actually, this abrupt change. Pluto, at the end of 2024, he switched from Capricorn. He was 16 years in Capricorn and went into Aquarius. And this morning, I was listening to Lama Caroline's teachings, and she was talking that the era of Aquarius still hasn't started based on the sacred texts.
Però ci sono, secondo diversi astrologhi,
But different astrologers, Western astrologers,
sono in giro, ci sono diverse cose che
they have different
ci danno magari
point of views on this,
ci invitano a pensare
and they invite us to think
può iniziare in
that
questo periodo,
it can actually start in this period of time, this Aquarius era.
È un successo che può marcare questo
And what can mark
che va in
this
questa direzione
new era
questa entrata di Plutone
is the entering of Pluto in Aquarius,
è un grandissimo cambio
where
di
we
paradigma,
are
dove
changing
noi
our
passiamo
paradigm
de avere
from
una paradigma
having a paradigm of
de potere centralizzato,
of centralized power, like Capricorn,
come se fosse una montagna,
as if it is like a mountain, let's say, symbolically, where the power is at the top of this mountain. So we're shifting from this to a sort of power that distributes the power in a web. So when Pluto enters in Aquarius, it will stay there for 20 years. So Pluto in Aquarius is talking to us about decentralize the power. So liberation from structures, from pyramidal structures, renewal of our identity, of this collective identity as well. So Aquarius represents humanity, because Aquarius works in a web, so in a system. By this we mean that I have the same importance as you and the other one. And this is beautiful, because when you read the news with an astrological mind, you really have a lot of fun. And this year, since Pluto entered in Aquarius, there have been many news about people putting like bringing to the judicial system, like Twitter, and this means that you want to find justice for the whole humanity, let's say, so to all that are interacting with this system. So this is the power of the web. So this is how it manifests so clearly. So each point of this web has an immense power in the whole picture. For example, there has been this judge, Brazilian judge, that brought down, let's say, the ex, the
Vicino de casa, no? Non era nessuno particolarmente, no?
CEO of Twitter.
Quindi Plutone rappresenta,
So Pluto
Plutone
represents
rappresenta anche dove c'è Plutone c'è una possibilità
where there is Pluto, there is a
che quello
possibility
se torna,
that
se-
this
se
can
diventa
become
potente, molto molto potente.
very powerful.
Per noi che viviamo in comunità,
So for us that we live in a community,
molto importante perché
this is
le
very important
comunità,
because communities
si possono potenziare tantissimo, no?
can become much more powerful. Before coming here, I heard this news that says
come si dice? Censimento
that the last
Spagna, dice che
law
ci
in
sono
Spain
tantissime giovani
said that there are many, not law, sorry, the statistic that in Spain there are many, many young people that choose more and more to leave the big cities, so a central structure, in order to go to rural areas, so far away from the central point. So this is also Aquarius, to expand, to go in different directions, so redistribute the resources, the power. The power of the web is exactly this. And Aquarius also means these points of this web also represent the breaking the central part of a system. So transcend the me and mine, individualism, trying to find a common benefit. So this is related to community. And last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, it was incredible. It was during the French Revolution, with their banners of equality, fraternity, and liberty, freedom, that are three words of the excellence of Aquarius. There have also been many changes during the industrial revolutions. Also here, Pluto was in Aquarius, where we had the independence also of the United States. And it changed so much the agriculture economy, the industrial economy, industrialization, mass production, and the form of the way of creating society has changed a lot from the past because of this. And one thing that came to my mind is that Pluto talks to us about the power of like how we conceptualize power, like what meaning we give to power. And the previous era of Pluto in Capricorn, we were talking about a centralized power, where a function of Pluto was to wake up the demons of what it touches. So Pluto, going through the constellation of Capricorn, woke up the corruption of powerful structures in a very profound way. So it cleaned. Pluto is a cleaner. So it cleaned away all of this. And talking about Pluto in Aquarius, in this new cycle, it came to my mind that Ganchen Rinpoche gave a definition of power so beautiful. And he said, power has many friends, meaning that power is a power distributed in a web, so not accumulated in the center, but expanding it, distributing it in this web.
Questa è l'idea più o
This
meno
is the
molto
idea,
generale di cosa
very
vuol
general
dire
idea,
Plutone
of what it
Acquario.
means to have Pluto in
Sarà
Aquarius.
lì fino
So
al
he will stay there
2044,
until
anche di Plutone in
2044,
Acquario, e anche sveglierà
and it will wake up
la ombra
the
de lo che
darkness
representa Acquario
of
anche a
what
livello
Aquarius represents,
tecnologico,
also on a technological level.
sicuramente, no?
This for sure.
Come se l'astrologia è un livello simbolico,
Is like astrology is a
noi possiamo
symbolical
giocare a interpretare
interpretation,
sono
no?
simboli, no?
Because they are all
Penso,
symbols.
non lo so, io non, il mio fuoco di attenzione
For
non
example,
è
my
in,
focus of attention
aliens e vita in altri
is not
pianeti, però
in life
potrei
on,
anche
on other
giocare,
planets, but
interpretare e
we
dire
could interpret
Acquario ha relazione con il
Aquarius
cielo,
that
con lo
relates with
spazio,
space,
e Plutone
and
ha
Pluto
relazione con
has a
lo
relation
sconosciuto
with what is
nel
unknown
fondo dello spazio.
at the
Magari
end of
vengono gli
space.
aliens,
And so
non
this
lo
means maybe aliens will
nessuno
come.
sa, no?
So nobody
Però
knows.
giocando a
So you can also play interpreting these symbols,
una possibilità, soprattutto perché il
especially
2026 sarà
because
un anno
2026 will
a
be a
livello
year
generale
on a general level
dove il mondo che
where
noi
the
conosciamo
world that we
non
know will
esistirà,
not exist
sta lasciando di
anymore.
esistere. Il paradigma che noi
So this paradigm
conosciamo
that we know
no,
will
piano
extinguish
piano
slowly,
non
slowly.
esisterà più. Il mondo sarà un mondo molto nuovo e noi
We will have a new
nel
world.
2026
And in
a livello
2026,
collettivo e a livello
as a
personale
collective and individual
aprirci
level, we need to open
a
ourselves up
sperimentare
to
delle cose che noi non abbiamo
experiment
mai
things that we
sperimentato.
never
Per
experienced,
diverse cose
for
anche,
different things as well,
diversi anche dettagli
and different
astrologici,
astrological details.
le nostre certezze
Our certainties
si bruciano anche.
will burn as well.
No?
This will be a year of, wow,
Piccante, molto piccante.
very spicy.
Ok, quello. Dopo una cosa importante che succede,
Another important thing
importante
that
è che
is happening
noi stiamo avendo una
is that we are having a conjunction
di Saturno
of Saturn, Neptune
secondo questo sistema
in this system
Ariete
in Aries,
che non si ha, sembra che non si abbia mai
and this
visto in
seems
Ariete questa
that
congiunzione.
we never had this conjunction in Aries.
La ultima volta che è
The last
successo,
time it happened
è stato quando è caduto il muro di Berlino,
was when
89, no?
in 1989,
Ok.
when
Però in
the
Capricornio
wall of
successe.
Berlin went down, but it happened in Capricorn,
Saturno,
not in Aries.
Nettuno
So
in
Saturn and Neptune
Ariete.
in Aries.
Saturno è un pianeta che
Saturn is a planet.
Guilherme parlava un po' di
Guilherme was talking a bit
ci
about
mette
Saturn,
a prova.
and he will test us
Pianeta,
as a
come-
planet,
come ruolo
Saturn.
psichico,
So
è un
as the
pianeta che
psychic
ci fa
role is a
imparare,
planet that makes us learn,
mettendoci delle sfide.
putting us in front of
Ci
trials.
ci fa che noi ci fa essere profondamente coerenti.
He makes us
stessi.
becomes very coherent with ourselves. So he will allow us to become more mature. So he calls us to an individuality and going deep within ourselves.
En Ariete,
And
Ariete è un segno
Saturn in Aries, Aries is a sign of
io sono,
I
è
am.
un
So
è un segno di autoaffermazione.
is a sign of self-affirmation.
Saturno lì ci sta
And
dicendo
Saturn in this position is telling us
quanto vero è
how truthful
queste io sono.
is it, this I am, this identity. So it's a call of coherency with our own self-affirmation.
Ariete è il
Aries is a sign of desire, of, I want it.
lo voglio adesso.
I want it now.
Questo è Ariete.
This is Aries.
È come se fosse la immagine mentale di Ariete è
The mental image of Aries is the Big Bang. You cannot feel nothing else if not an explosion. It's an explosion beyond which you cannot feel anything else. So there's no coherency with the external world. It's just this explosion and is related to desire, deep desire. And our desire until 2028, where Saturn will be in Aries, we will see as if we were in a Ferrari going to 140 kilometers per hour, but with our foot on the brake. So this is Saturn saying, okay, try to put maturity in desire, to go. It's like it's saying us, okay, stop putting impulse in this desire without limits. So do you really want what you want? Maybe there needs to be more time, more coherencies. What are the consequences of your desires? Maybe you need to organize a bit better. For the conscious, identifying with the desire, I want it now, because we are used to say, okay, if we want it now. So this can be lived as a period of time of frustration up until 2028. But in reality is an invite to take control and responsibility, to give maturity to our impulses. It's calling us to build the basis that can be sustained in time. And it's also the sign of new initiatives. This also meaning Saturn in Aries. And also with Neptune in Aries is quite peculiar, because Neptune represents the most subtle part of ourselves, and Saturn is the most gross part of our being, and they are both in Aries. And Aries means the beginning of a new cycle. So this is very peculiar, this conjunction. So it's a new beginning. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It represents the head. So we are born with our heads going out of our mothers. And what Neptune represents in our psyche is when I lose my identity as a drop in order to get in union with the ocean. So it represents also this spiritual world and silence world, this inner world, this sensation of being connected with the whole. This is Neptune. So Neptune in this position means it's an invite to understand that my movements touch the collective, touch the everything in a complete way.
Questo ci toccherà a tutti sicuramente, perché
I think this is something that will touch everybody, because Saturn talks about a coherency that is very deep within ourselves, which is also connected to Neptune. The other day I was talking to an astrologer, a Spanish astrologer, and he was talking about this conjunction, saying, I cannot be in a hospital praying for a relative of mine to be healthy, and then I go out, and because I am in anxiety, I smoke a cigarette. And in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so true. Because coherency, with this conjunction, is like our inconsistencies will resonate
Suonano molto di più.
on a much higher level.
Che risuonano molto
So
nel collettivo.
resonance of these incoherencies also in the collective. So they are put in the spotlight, let's say. So when we are coherent, we feel strong. When we have this inner and secret coherency,
Noi possiamo anche sentire che
we
c'è un
can
impatto sul
we can see the impact that this has on our environment.
molto evidente questo.
And this is very evident. Is it clear? Is it clear? Can you listen to me correctly?
Saturno e Nettuno insieme
Saturn and Neptune together,
faranno la congiunzione il 20
and
febbraio
they
del
will
2026.
connect in February of 2026.
Ci parla di materializzare
It's talking about
i nostri
materializing our dreams.
anelli, si dice, no?
So our
Le nostre anhelos, come si dice?
desires, what we aspire,
Sogni, i nostri
our
aspirazioni,
dreams.
che Nettuno.
And this is Neptune.
Materializzare le nostre
So materializing our dreams, our aspirations, and this is Neptune and Saturn together in order to
uscire e attuare al mondo. Oggi Lama Caroline
in order to show the world. And this morning Lama Caroline was talking about
Shambhala, no?
the reign of Shambhala.
Non so, nella visione più
And
bella, la interpretazione
in the
più
most
bella che si
beautiful
può dare a
vision that we
questa
can give to
congiunzione,
this conjunction
sarebbe un
is
invito
an
veramente
invite
a trasformarci
to
noi
transform
in
ourselves
Shambhala,
in
guerrieri di Shambhala, no?
Shambhala warriors,
La palabra guerriero
because
ha che
the
vedere
word
con Ariete,
warrior has to do with
il
Aries.
coraggio ha che vedere
So
con Ariete,
the
il
courage
coraggio di materializzare
to materialize
i
Saturn,
nostri sogni
our dreams, Neptune,
insieme, no?
together.
Materializzare
Materialize
il nostro mondo spirituale, la
our
nostra
spiritual
pratica
world, our
spirituale. Già la
practice, spiritual practice.
parole insieme, pratica,
And the words practice, Saturn, spiritual practice, spiritual Neptune. So spiritual practice is Saturn and Neptune in action, Aries.
è una congiunzione
And this conjunction
molto speciale,
is
è un
very
invito
special, is an
cielo
invite.
con ogni
The
movimento
sky is inviting us with every moment that it does.
ci invia un
It
invito
invites
a
us.
noi, è un invito
It's an invite.
Sì, quello. Y Saturno, bueno, scusate, Nettuno anche rappresenta,
Neptune also represents,
Nettuno fa un ciclo di 168
Neptune
anni.
makes a cycle of 168 years. And now this cycle is ending of this 168 cycle is ending.
Prima di passare ad Ariete.
And it's ending in pieces right before entering in Aries. And this represents this new cycle also of spirituality.
Non so, mi viene in mente che
Comes to my mind, for example, that in this period of time we changed our Pope, for example.
abbiamo,
Or
si è trovato la reincarnazione
we
di
found the reincarnation of Ganchen Rinpoche. So a new cycle. Neptune represents as a collective. It represents our leaders, our religious leaders.
Quindi è un inizio di ciclo.
So it's the beginning of a cycle.
Y Nettuno
And Neptune also represents as a collective what is our paradise, our heaven on earth.
Nettuno in
Neptune
pesce
in pieces,
adesso sta finendo
which is finishing this cycle, this passage.
è alla fine di
It's
pesce.
at the end of Pisces.
Il nostro paradiso
Our paradise, our heaven on earth,
molto relazionato
was related, very much related with
una, un consumo
a
malato
unhealthy consumption of images, like scrolling on social media,
il film
the movies, Netflix. So it was our our kids' juice, let's say. So because Neptune is also escaping from reality. What is the paradise on a collective level, and where to find it? And so going through Pisces, because Pisces and Neptune are very similar energies, it's the owner. We lived a lot of this darkness, of this fiction, of this fake paradise, fake heaven, by consuming images and social media and all of this information that consume our life, of looking at people and lives that don't even exist, for example, with movies. And this takes a toll on us. And it was this, let's say, kids' juice, this intoxication of images and fake news and confusion, distractions. But at the same time, in this last period of time, since 2010 to 2025, where Neptune went through Pisces, it was also a wake-up call in a collective, on a collective level, our necessity of having a spiritual life. So it was a wake-up call for us to realize we need a spiritual, to give a spiritual meaning to life. So we realized that developing spiritually is a basic need, like eating, on the same level. So it was also something very positive. And maybe 10 years ago, we were talking about astrology, and very few people would understand. But now everybody understands. Now it's so common, it's so accessible, this kind of knowledge. It's in the air, you can taste it almost.
Quello. Ok.
So these two planets, Saturn and Neptune, in Aries, they make me think about the word sacrifice, because both of these planets, in a different level, they both relate with this word of sacrifice. Saturn relates to sacrifice as putting force, and sacrifice related to Neptune is intended as making an offering, or offering myself to something bigger than me. So the first was putting effort, the second was offering. So Saturn will be in Aries for 3 years. So 3 years of challenges that will put us to the test. And this is Aries, and is calling us to independence, self-esteem, wanting independence. So will be 3 years.
Ci faranno andare avanti
that will make us move forward in a very solid way. We will be able to be patient. We can be able to become more mature and taking control of our desire instead of leaning into it. And there is this beautiful phrase of Lama Michel Rinpoche that says that is what brings us more pleasure is to put down desire rather than following it. So for us it's so important to be able to move forward and start something new, and the ability to act in a different way, more coherent with our spiritual being, with compassion, being able to understand that we have a profound impact on the collective and each detail has an impact. And so this calls us to coherency.
Quello più o meno a livello generale parla di questo.
So on a general level, this is what we're talking about with this conjunction of Saturn and Neptune in Aries.
Dopo una cosa che succederà un'altra cosa che succederà
Another thing that will happen is that
Urano
Uranus will change sign. Here is Uranus
un ciclo di
that has a cycle of 84 years,
sarà 7 anni
and it will stay 7 years in each sign. Now he's entering in
in Gemelli.
Gemini.
Ha entrato un pochino, ha entrato
So it entered
perché i pianeti fanno questo movimento di retrogradazione, no?
because these planets have this retrograded nature, and it seems they're going backwards, but actually they're moving
Che li guardiamo
in another way. But for us, that we are looking at it on a 2D level, it seems that they're going backwards, but actually it's not.
Gemelli il 7
So it was in Gemini, the 7th of July 2025, then it went back
a Toro
to Taurus, and now it's going back
Gemelli un'altra
to Gemini another time.
questo movimento di
This movement of this retrograded movement
2025
happened through all 2025, and this is why
il primo di gennaio è molto simile a lo che sto dicendo adesso. Però lo che è successo
what happened during 2025
questi cambiamenti
is that all these changes, all these planets
che vanno verso
that
una
are
nuova-
going towards
tutti a nuovi segni
towards new signs,
hanno retrogradato
they
durante il
were
2025
they retrograded in 2025, and now in 2026 they're putting themselves back straight, and they're not going back to the old signs. So 2025 was a year
hanno stato dei piccoli assaggi
where we had some taste of these big changes that will happen in 2026.
e nel 2026 non torneremo più al vecchio.
So we will not go back to the old things.
È che noi c'è questo astrologo anche che vi diceva spagnolo
So also this Spanish astrologer says that when a slow planet changes sign,
cambiano la musica.
it's like changing music that you are listening to. It's like you're listening to one specific type of music, and then suddenly someone arrives and changes abruptly the music you're listening to.
Cambia la musica, cambia la musica, cambia. Lo che è successo durante
And what happened in 2025
stiamo lasciando
is that we are
la
leaving
vecchia pelle,
the old skin,
infatti è stato l'anno della
and
serpente.
also it was the year
Parlerà di
of the snake, so it has this metaphor as well.
capendo che
And we are understanding that the old structures, the old ways of being, the old habits,
le vecchie forme di
the old forms of perceiving realities, old stories that we say to ourselves, they don't work anymore.
funzionano più. Il vecchio paradigma
So the old paradigm,
credevamo essere,
who we believe we were,
credevamo che il
what we
mondo era,
believe the
non
world was,
funziona più.
is not working anymore.
Però non
But-
sappiamo con che o come
But we do not know
ci aspetta.
what will
Il
happen.
2025 è stato un anno,
So 2025 was
un anno intermezzo, sai?
a year, an intermediate year,
Di bardo, diciamo, no?
a year of Bardo,
Però
let's
è
say.
molto chiara la sensazione
But the sensation is very clear
che questo non funziona
that
più così.
this is not working anymore on very different levels, on an intimate, personal, secret, external level, collective level.
È come se sì, quello, no? Quella è la sensazione.
So this is the sensation.
E adesso parlo dell'ultimo pianeta.
So the last planet that I will talk about is Uranus.
Che Urano veramente è colui che
This is the planet that brings us new answers to old problems, like Rinpoche used to say. So new solutions to old problems. Uranus calls us to open ourselves to new things. There are no references.
né come Urano ci
Uranus
porta novità,
brings
perché
us
la novità
new
sorga
things. And
è
for
molto
new things
difficile
to
per la nostra
arise,
coscienza capire cosa è la novità.
it's different for our conscience to understand what is new, because every new thing, our psyche wants to go to the external disk, let's say, of the mind, to find references, to make it easier for us to understand. Oh, so we say, yes, this that is happening seems this other thing that already happened in my life. We cannot live the state of, let's say, new things, because we always try to relate to the things of the past.
Perché per quello Urano si representa col cielo.
So Uranus is represented by the space, by the sky.
Non ci sono referenze.
And in the sky you don't have references.
Non ci sono referenze. Quindi Urano in Gemelli ci parla di una novità nella
So Uranus in Gemini is talking about a novelty in the way we are thinking, in the way we are learning, the way we think.
Urano
So it calls us to revisit every aspect. So it's related to originality and new things, is like disruptive.
Lo disruptivo è quello che non obbedisce a un
Is disruptive to what does not relate to a it's like not something that relates to a gradual process. It's very quick, very immediate, very abrupt as a change. So Uranus is this period of time of 7 years where we can have a lot of insights, of realizations. And it's like switching on the light. And this is related to Uranus in Gemini. But be careful, because we
la cosa che esemplifica il meglio è come siamo tutti affascinati della intelligenza artificiale.
we need to be careful, like for example we are with the artificial intelligence. It's a novelty, but we need to be careful. It's like our way of thinking has been completely revolutionized. And this is a very quick combination. So we really need to be careful with our mental agitation in this period of time. It's a high risk of our modern times, where everything happens in a very intense way, in a short amount of time. So we need to be careful with anxiety and mental agitation, with all of these things.
Quindi sicuramente le persone
So,
che hanno
for sure,
la croce
people that have signs like sun, moon,
mutabile
in a mutable cross.
Scusate. Gemelli,
So
Sagittario,
Gemini, Sagittarius,
Pesce e
and
Vergine,
Pisces and
sicuramente
Virgin,
saranno molto
these
toccati da
signs
questo
will be
Urano
very
in
touched
Gemelli,
by
no?
this Uranus, this planet Uranus in Gemini.
E un'altra cosa, solo per chiudere,
To conclude, one last thing,
questi tre pianeti
these three planets that we talked about, so these three transpersonal planets that are also called the divinity of change, when they are involved in this process of change, it changes our experience of life. Everybody has their own style, for sure. And now, started in 2024 until 2028, they are doing this triangle you can see in green, that is a relationship between degrees, between positions of planets, called aspects. So they are doing aspects of collaboration between them. So Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. I already talked last year about this image of kite, let's say. This is like an acceleration for our state of consciousness. These three planets in this kite image, let's say, when we arrive at the end of this kite, where it's written a psyche function in transformation, we will go through different times in the year where the Sun, Venus, Mars, and all planets, the quickest planets that talk about psychic function. For example, how I think, how I organize my identity, what is security, how do I feel loved, how do I feel safe, how do I organize and handle my desire, how do I open myself. Different psychic functions, very basic psychic functions of our personality, when they go through this ending part of this, let's say, kite, so the end of the blue triangle, the point, it's an invite of moving forward, of ascending, of going a step more up. So these quick planets going through these points, it's like putting these planets in a blender of transformation.
Adesso mi rendo conto che non ho segnato le date.
So now I'm realizing I did not put the dates of when this will happen.
Una lista lunga.
But it's a very long list of dates.
Dovete essere collegate.
So you need to be connected with us astrologers to have this information and understand a bit better. So 2026 will bring us a lot of change, and all the certainties that we have for sure will be transformed. So thank you very much.
Ci auguro un bel anno a tutti per evolvere.
I wish a wonderful year to everyone to evolve, especially to evolve spiritually. Thank you. Thank you again.
Buonasera, grazie.
Good evening.
Tu come fai? Scusa.
Questa è la tua perché avevi due.
Sì, beh, dato in inglese. Però lo proiettiamo. Lo trovo. Buonasera a tutti, grazie.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to my colleagues. So, let's start like this. Last year, I said that this was going to be the year of the snake, the wood snake, and this means you change skin and you take off your masks. So this is a preparation for the fire horse that will enter in the 17th of February. I put together Tibetan and Western together. I like to work with both systems. So fire horse. The horse is already by itself the fire element. So like Lama Caroline was explaining this morning.
Si vedono, no? I due segni di fuoco sono il serpente.
So the two fire animals are the snake and the horse. And so this year the horse is of fire, so it's like double fire. So these 2026 and 2027 are 2 years of fire. And this will be the old element, and the next year we will have the new element of fire. It will be the sheep of fire. So the horse of fire, let's see the characteristics of the nature of horse. So being very quick and the need of freedom, of movement. If you leave a free horse in nature, he will not have limits. So it's us humans that want to put horses in limits and let's say put restraints to the horse.
Quindi le caratteristiche di quest'anno saranno proprio queste.
So humans want to tame the horse, and so let's see the characteristics. We will see many changes, many movements. So we can see passion, ambition, power, transformation. What is important is to understand that this horse of fire changes the vision that we have on life. For many of us, in general, is an energy, is a new energy. So this fire represents the heart. So we would like to live with passion, everything. There can be a lot of impatience because we want to do everything like quickly. We want to put many things on the fire, let's say. So we have the need of balancing all of this. When we talk about astrology, we talk about the influence of planets on the whole universe. So planets, the movement of planets are keys. There is not giving the blame to planets. We have to take responsibility, and we have to take positively the energy of the planets once that we know them, and also of the elements once that we know them. So this fire horse, if we had to change our skin with the snake, or wood snake, now we have to see which changes we were called to act upon. And now we will have to act upon these changes. So we have this impulse to act. So we will have a lot of enthusiasm, this fire. I was talking this morning to my friends, and I was saying the word will have to be manifested. So we will have to make a lot of declarations, and as Carminia was saying, when we read the news as astrologers, you can really see in practice how astrology manifests. And when I do my therapy, when I do my sessions of astrology with my clients, I like to see in practice astrology working. So here we are talking about the necessity of speaking, of course, without being, of course, violent, but we have to put this energy in our heart, this will of putting order. And I put together also numerology. So everything is new. Everything is a new beginning. So the number 1 talks about sun and a new cycle.
dei pianeti
We
comincia
talked about also the new cycle of planets.
questa forte necessità
So even if we look within ourselves, we can see this need of change that we have within ourselves. So we changed last year, now we have to act upon this change.
di 9, no? Di 9 anni. E quindi inizieremo a
So
iniziare a creare
we will start creating and putting into practice all our projects.
cose imponenti. Ci sarà un'ulteriore spinta.
So we will have this drive.
L'inizio, no? Stavo osservando in questi
I was observing in this last period of time, so many new people have come here to Albagnano. Us, all disciples, we are seeing this new life, new energy coming. And the Horus fire calls also of the balance between these two energies of old and new. So young and old people. So they have to act with wisdom. These planets talk.
piace pensare a questa congiunzione di Nettuno e Saturno a
I like to think about this connection, this conjunction of Neptune and Saturn.
iniziato un ciclo dell'umanità, poi chi può sapere prima, no? Chi c'era può spiegarcelo. Ma questo Nettuno e
So this Neptune and Saturn, they traveled in Pisces,
l'ultimo segno,
and
i pesci dovrebbe portare
Pisces brings
come dire, l'ultimo stadio, no?
the last state of research of enlightenment. So this search of spirituality to act.
Era interiorizzato
So first this action was more internal, personal, and now it's coming externally, an action in the world. So before it was like in our womb.
una crisi vuol dire movimento,
And it's like now it's coming into a crisis, and this brings us an opportunity to bring innovation and to act.
per migliorare
We come to this world to develop and arrive to enlightenment and get out of this cycle of suffering.
quindi questo Nettuno e Saturno
So this Neptune and Saturn,
per un bel po'.
I meditated a lot on this. I lived it personally, and I saw it in many maps, many charts,
Questa necessità
and I saw this necessity
di bimbo, no? Che
of bringing this baby,
è curato dentro, adesso portarlo fuori e agire.
of bringing this baby outside and make him act. So we can see this conjunction of fire horse with these planets, slow planets they are called,
Cicli abbastanza lunghi.
and we saw there are very, very slow cycles. So this energy
Messa insieme
is brought together in an explosion.
e quindi dobbiamo vederlo poi ognuno come queste chiavi
And individually, we have to see how these keys open our own maps and charts.
però proviamo a viverlo concretamente.
But let's try to live it in a practical level. So this energy that in the summer of 2025 was a solid energy,
Tutto da realizzare.
everything to
Forse abbiamo superato
come to action. So now maybe we resurfaced our fear. So after we put down our masks and our skin, so personally inside of us, we have to tell ourselves the truth. So Dharma helps also in this.
adesso diventa
So now it becomes action.
insisto su questo.
I am putting a lot of focus on this because
È una bellissima energia.
it's a beautiful energy. So what do we make of spirituality if we don't put it into action?
Quindi da quest'anno
So starting from this year,
sentiremo queste forti spinte. Plutone in
we will hear this energy. Pluto in Aquarius is not going back, as we already saw in Capricorn. So if in Capricorn it revealed what was hidden, the powers, hidden powerful powers,
agirà
now it will act first in Aquarius, then in Pisces. It will act for the entirety of humanity. It's the union of people together with new projects. So it's calling us, Neptune and Saturn in Aries, it's calling us also to say no to war, for example. There is a lot of opportunity for us to act in this way, to stop wars.
L'ignoranza, no? Perché è il primo segno, primo veleno, trasformarlo nella saggezza.
So we have to transform our close-mindedness into wisdom. So these signs of water and earth that we had in 2025 are brought in 2026
Vengono trasferiti ai segni di
into signs of fire and air.
aria. Per cui
So we will have
detto in inglese è più bello, no? Questo sorgere, questo
this rising of these energies.
vediamo altre caratteristiche. Io ho fatto questa slide indicativamente.
I did this slide.
Seguire magari il vado
Maybe now Julia will hate me because it's a different slide from the ones that I gave her, but it's okay. So Plato in Aquarius is increasing this energy of enough is enough.
come dire, un sistema, crolla un sistema.
So this system is breaking down and a new system will come up, and this depends on our will. I can follow a good path or a bad path. So we have this choice. We have this responsibility that we have to take for ourselves. We have this
Che si sposta in gemelli, poi
Uranus in Gemini
questo anche il Giove che va in Leone.
and Jupiter in Lion, and there's this opportunity of compassion and not only bringing up our ego, so we can choose our path in this.
Porta
So these
probabilmente un'altra energia, si cambia musica, no? Come ha detto Carmine.
this trine changes the music, as Carminia said. So now we can start dancing.
Fermi nelle nostre emozioni, no? Tipiche dei segni d'acqua e il nostro desiderio di rimanere sempre fissi in
So
quello che può essere la tranquillità
this desire of staying in a economical stability can become and will need to become something different, something more. Maybe you already felt this inside of you.
il discorso dei nodi lunari, Rahuè,
There is also the topic of lunar nodes,
dall'asse Vergine Pesci,
and they go through this
dall'asse Vergine Pesci all'asse Leone Acquario. Le eclissi invece
axis
avverranno diciamo nel vecchio asse. Cosa significa? Allora, i
So
nodi
what does this all mean? These lunar nodes talk about old and new, once again. So Ketu is the past. The northern node is where we have to go to, what we have to transform. And Virgo and Pisces brought to us this duality of Virgo, earth, and desire, of helping the environment together with what? With Pisces, that is the spiritual evolution.
come dire, la dualità
But it was also the duality of mundanity and transcending it. So this dualism, I see it in this way. For example, the axis Lion Aquarius, Lion is the possibility of compassion, and Aquarius brings it to all of humanity. So karmically, when the lunar nodes touch in the various cycles, the personal cycles,
porterà a galla
will bring up something that belongs. The lion is the fifth sign, so fifth house, so brings to everything that revolves around sentiment,
le
emotions.
emozioni, i sentimenti. Dall'altra
On the other side, we have Aquarius, as I was saying, of the 11th house, so transformation. Transformation into what? In not being any more slaves. Aquarius may seem a very cold sign because Uranus, it's planet. But before it was Saturn, but in modern times is both of them. So Uranus is the owner of Aquarius, so it seems like a cold sign. So it's this possibility of not being slaves anymore of our emotions, to see our emotions for what they are and transform them. And so this happens also in contact with others. So I don't see an enemy in the other, but I see the mirror of the other as a friend, not as an enemy. So I really like this axis that is manifesting, because it also sustains these slow planets that are slowly moving. So putting together everything that becomes, so we have a new cycle with a extremely powerful force of the fire horse. And sometimes we talk about the craziness of the fire horse, but it's not crazy actually. It's an energy of a positive energy that if it's being suffocated, it can explode and can become very sad. But this year calls us to not stop our spontaneity, not so bring out this necessity we have to act and go where we want to go and create the conditions to put ourselves into contact with a lot of people. So like Guilherme was saying, talking about the Sangha, the center, the collective, we may have a very big expansion of Dharma or of new spiritual systems. So spirituality that becomes something more unifying without limits of religious systems. We can have changes in leaders. We can see how the characteristics of our leaders will change. So they will be more focused on the humanity in all the governments, and so this is why the word needs to be expressed in this year. It's important, communication and speaking and being heard. So using also consciously the artificial intelligence, because I see, for example, Uranus in Gemini. Gemini is joy, knowledge, the initial knowledge, but it's dual. So we need to be careful also to see what happens inside of us. Uranus is the psyche and related also to astrology. So we see astrology. We need to be careful of what happens inside our head. We need to see when the light and darkness appear. What helps us is to go in this force of Neptune and Saturn in Aries, that is action, wisdom. Neptune is master of spirituality and Saturn is master of karma, and when we put them together positively, then of course we try to realize what we came here to do in this life, finally. So I would like to bring this positivity. This is the use that we have to give to planetary movements. Everything that we do is directed towards this. We cannot live in the past, in our fears. A cycle, what is a cycle? It's a representation of something of the past that is an opportunity for us to go through it and not live it once again in the same way. So what I wish is for this energy to keep expanding and multiplying. And Neptune and Saturn in Aries is not anymore ignorance, but is wisdom, thanks to the master of spirituality and master of karma manifesting. So Saturn will stay 2.5 years in Aries, but then it will changes, and Neptune will take 14 years in Aries. And finally, 4 signs will feel more light that had Saturn in them before, and now the signs affected will be Aries and
Ariete, il leone,
Lion, Aquarius, and Libra. And they will have the possibility of working in this internally to arrive to the essence of one's own selves. So the other 4 signs that lived 14 years with Saturn before were Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Obviously, this is not for the specific signs, but let's think it like this in a more general way right now. So, why did we go through these internal forces, and now we are called to go through these external forces? So this is obvious because we changed our skin, the masks went down, and now we are called into action with these new signs. It's a continuous wheel, a wheel that goes on. We cannot stay in the past. We are called to look to the future and to go through transformation.
E sorge per essere trasformato o per essere veramente con la grande possibilità di essere.
So we have this incredible opportunity to transform ourselves, not only for our benefit, but for the benefit of all the people that we enter into connection with. So my wish for all of us is to live this beautiful fire energy of this year 1 of this planetary movement, this slow planetary movement. It's true that they are internal planets, so Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are the superior planet of other planets, of Venus and Mars. What we mean is meaning they are very, very intense planets. You need to live through them in a very slow way. We are not able to realize these energies in a different way. At the same time, everything that we live with, these transits under this sky, these keys are written inside of us, like Lama Caroline was explaining to us with Kala Chakra. The internal, external, and secret world are keys, and we all have them inside of us. So let's allow ourselves to live in a different way. We have the conditions, we have the energies, even we have these transits, we have these different animals, elements. All these things are heavy when we try to resist. So let's try to remember not to resist, but to act with these energies accordingly. So the practices of Dharma, of course, help in this. Something that comes to my mind is that this year practices like Kurukula, Vajrayogini, Vajrapani are Buddhas of action, energy, red energies. These will help us or can help us to increase our actions and this energy. Okay? So I wish for all of us that this can happen, realize, and increase. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ok, grazie, grazie. Ok. Qualcuno ha una domanda che piacerebbe?
Someone has some questions for our astrologers?
Un momento, no? Si chiede.
If you want, you have some questions, you can.
Però devi chiedere
But you have to come here to ask with the microphone so that everybody can listen.
Ciao, volevo chiedere questo. Prima si
I wanted to ask this before we were talking about the transit of Neptune in Gemini, no, Uranus in Gemini.
quindi diciamo che chi ha
So let's say that who has planets in our own charts in Gemini
una forte
will be affected.
nel caso di
So if
Venere, Luna,
Venus, Moon, and Saturn in Gemini, what can this bring?
Io? Allora
Okay, so just looking at these 3 planets without looking at the map is not so specific. But let's say if Uranus touches a planet, in which houses? 11th. Good. Aquarius house. So first I look at the house, then at the sign. So Uranus goes in 11th house, so movement, going towards the external groups. Uranus in Venus is interesting. Maybe you will fall in love with someone you never thought.
Venere?
Venus and Moon. Uranus in Moon, I already saw it in my life. Be careful. There is possibility of doing amazing internal introspective work with therapy, awareness, progress, because it brings light on the feminine side and family side. So bringing something new. Thank you, you're welcome.
No, solo volevo dire che
I just wanted to add that Uranus brings news in each planet that it touches.
diciamo che quando uno ha un transito
So when you have a transit with Uranus strong, you have to allow yourself to be different from what you thought you were. So as a practical exercise, when you go ask an ice cream, you can ask an ice cream that you never thought of tasting, for example. This can be beneficial.
altre domande? Questo è un momento unico, una volta ogni anno. Ok.
If you want to ask other questions,
volevi parlare.
ciao.
hello. Can I speak in Portuguese? Yes.
Traduzco se vuoi.
Ok, grazie. A minha pergunta para o Gui.
My question is for Guilherme on Nakshatra Rohini of the moon in Taurus. Can you explain to me what is this nakshatra and what is this aspect for the whole year? Thank you.
Non so come tradurre. No, sì, lei ha chiesto su Anakshatra.
Italian translation, but I already did the English one, so I just wait a moment.
Quali sono le... non so, come...
Lei ha questo, in questo anno ci sarà questa energia di questi stelle specifici chiamata Rohini, perché in questo mappa del centro per nostra comunità la luna è in questa stella, no? E questa stella noi chiamiamo in sanscrito di nakshatra. Nakshatra è come il luogo della luce. Questo significa nakshatra. Alcune volte è solo una stella, alcune volte è un gruppo di stelle.
So nakshatra sometimes is one star, some others is a group of stars. So
And the enjoyment of life. Rohini was the most beautiful because she was who practiced the more virtues in her past life. So il senso è che lei è la più bella perché lei ha praticato per tante vite virtudini. In speciale è detto che Rohini ha praticato.
So Rohini made many people happy and made many people laugh, and this is why she was born so beautiful. This brings to us an opportunity of connect with this beauty in any moment, in every moment.
Give to us the opportunity to look in each single detail of life, beautifulness, and connect ourselves with the reality, what is happening right now, that is what exists. No? So questo aiuta a portare...
Parla solo in italiano, non cambiare.
Perché c'è amici che non parla italiano.
Sì, no, però c'è Giulia che ti traduce lì in cabina. Sì. C'è Giulia che ti sta traducendo in cabina.
Ok. So, io penso che così in questo anno
I think this year, Moon in Rohini invites us to put our focus, because the moon is the symbol of our mind. So connect our mind with the beauty of everything and every moment. And in order to do this, it's important that we are flexible and have this challenge of Taurus is to be delicate, flexible. So this is the energy of Rohini in Taurus. I have a question. Taurus also talks to us about the pleasure, enjoyment, and Rohini is like a plus to this enjoyment. So in this sense, is like saying 2 times the same thing? No, actually no, because in the Indian system we divide the quality of Taurus. For example, the being focused on something is the first part of Taurus that we called kritika. So the stubbornness is this first part, but in Rohini you don't have this. So when we talk about enjoyment in Taurus, we are talking about the Rohini part, not the stubbornness part of Taurus.
Scusa, posso aggiungere qualcosa?
I can add something.
If you look in the sky, you see like Taurus is like this, okay? Actually, it's more than that, but we can see like this, yeah? Like the horns of the bull. And Rohini is here. It's like this red star, like we call it the eye of Taurus. Many times here in Albagnano, you look that way and it's appearing, yeah, on this southern horizon, yeah? All these things it's nice to actually look at, not just like something intellectual, you know? It's called the science of light, so you should actually look at the stars, you know, and feel their energy, you know?
Also, questo che Lama sta parlando.
What Lama is talking about this, looking at the stars to see the constellation of Taurus, we have these 2 stars, that are the horns of Taurus, and then there is the 3rd star that is in the middle. It's of red color, and this is Rohini. And here we have this connection because we can actually see it in the sky. Many times we can see in the sky this constellation. I studied the principal events that happen in this place when Ganche Rinpoche
fill up this central channel.
Quando ha riempito.
When Ganche Rinpoche filled up this central channel with crystals, and this star was at the top of the sky. In 1999, when they arrived here, the star was in the horizon, Rohini. In another moment, when they received this prediction of building this, the permits to construct, to build this center, this star was in the sky. So this star is very, very connected to this place.
È carino vedere
And this is nice to see
hai messo tanto
how Ganchen Rinpoche put so much energy on the solar energy, appreciation, beauty. And this can be a means of attachment for the senses, but it can also be a means of relaxing of the senses, of enjoyment, like Rohini.
Okay. Altra domanda?
Other questions?
No, Francesca's not here, yeah? Altra domanda? Sì. Eva, please.
Adesso entriamo nell'anno.
Now we enter in the fire horse. I would like to know what happens with people that are born with years with other elements. So the relation with the other elements with fire.
Allora, per questo bisogna vedere la
So we have to see the sequence of the elements for astrology. We should see the relation between friend, enemy, mother, child. We should see this relation between these elements. I like this question because it's not enough to see the year. We should see the four energies of the year, of the month, of the day, and of the hour. So just to focus on the year is not enough. We need to do a much more complex analysis. And also, when we go on the website, our website of astrology, if you look for it, and you put your date of birth, you can see also other 5 energies of
fisica,
the
no?
physical energy, of health, of luck, of power, and the energy, profound energy that we bring from other lives, and the combination between these 2 sides give the whole picture. So fire energy, the fire element is in the middle between wood and earth. Try to do this exercise inside of you in this year. The fire energy, when is in excess,
Bisogna cederlo all'elemento.
we have to give it to the sun element, so the earth.
Vado in un ambiente dove
So I go in an environment like the earth, like for example the mountain. Like also only looking at the mountains, when you have an excess of fire, this can pacify the excess of fire. When we need fire, we can take it from the wood. So we can go to the woods and take this kind of energy. This also relates with what type of food to eat, etc. So the enemies of the fire, for example, the fire melts metal.
Quindi chi ha un elemento metallo negli
So if you have a metal element,
tutti gli anni di nascita 0 e 1,
so everyone born in the years 01 have to put particular attention in keeping the patience and not getting too much frustration.
il metallo, l'acqua, no? L'acqua. Mettere insieme questi 2 elementi, il fuoco fa bollire l'acqua.
And water, fire boils water. It makes it go through elaborations. So we need to be careful
Anche vederla proprio a livello di corpo fisico.
and see it in your own body, because you can feel it, this fire energy in your own body. So we can see also in the environment if there will be the weather will be so hot, probably there will be some fires also in the environment, unfortunately. So the fire makes the water boil to make it evaporate. So each one of us needs to feel this energy. When it's in excess, we need to give it away and offer it in a sense, and we need to find space in our heart and allow ourselves to go in environments where we can do this, or do something with the earth, put our hands in the earth. Pete would be very happy if we all went to the garden and do some work there. But each one of us, we need to see the specific case. We cannot generalize so much.
Ecco, l'energia fuoco,
But the fire energy is
anche l'energia del fegato, no?
we need to be careful to our heart and to our liver. I don't know if maybe my colleagues want to add something. No.
Okay, piccolo cambiamento di programma.
Small change of program.
Piccolo cambiamento di programma. Sta morendo la mamma di una dei nostri amici.
The mother of a friend of ours is dying in Holland, so I would like to do a prayer for her. So I will put it here in Italian and we do together, okay?
Yeah, please close it. Then we continue afterwards, no?
Then we continue afterwards.
Yeah, already there. Okay. Full screen. Yeah, okay. Okay, 1 second. Yes, I know. I need the lady's name. Annie Schoenenberg Benders is the mother of one of our Sangha members. Okay, good. Very, okay. Okay, so and we need the name when we pray. Okay, so Lucio Zampo Pelgiuta Shipa Tu Centem Petrileano da Pegedro Lo Zampeze Pacen Palden La Mehesha Blasowade Omaguru Vadradahara Suhumati Muni Shahasahane Kama Uttavahadanye Sri Bahadra Vasamanya Sawasidi Hu Pakya Kekodan Dagilu Pakya Kesundadagina Pakya Ketuda Dagi Dunyamechitu Jingilo Pakya Kekudan Lu Makya Kesundadagina Makya Ketu Dagi Dunyamechitu Jingilo On Sobawa Shuddha Sawadama Sobawa Shuddhoham Siamo tutti Buddha Amitabha di colore rosso. Okay, Nune, please help me. Yeah? Facciamo insieme, no?
Okay,
Okay, facciamo insieme, no? Okay.
Can we enter full screen, please?
Annie Schoenenberg Benders, okay? Annie Schoenenberg Benders.
Ok. Sono Buddha Amitabha di colore rosso.
I'm
dal mio cuore.
of red color from my heart.
Annie Schoenberg Benders.
Annie Schoenberg Benders.
Lights go through to this Annie Schoenbergers. The form of the person dissolves in light and becomes empty. From the emptiness state, this dead person appears as alive with hands in union in prayer. If we don't know the aspect of the person, we can visualize any man or woman depending on the sex of the deceased, thinking that the conscience of this deceased will be somewhere in one of the three realms, the realm of desire, form, or absence of form. The light from my heart goes into all of these three realms with the intent of hooking the conscience of that person and take it out from the form that I have in front. I imagine that the light hooked her conscious and dissolved in the form of the person, and that this person in front of me is actually alive. So we recite this healing mantra and we blow, imagining that the sacred energy reaches the deceased person that is now in front of us. We imagine of purifying all negativities and negative karma of this person. We recite all the mantras that we can.
Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Soha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Soha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Soha. Mantra di Mitrupa. Namo Ratna Taraya Om Kankani Kankani Rochani Rochani Trotani Trotani Trasani Trasan Pratihana Pratihana Sarvakama Paramparanim Sawasattva Nancha Soha. Om Namo Ratna Taraya Om Kankani Kankani Rochani Rochani Trotani Trotani Trasani Trasan Pratihana Pratihana Sawakama Paramparanim Sawasattva Nancha Soha. Namo Ratna Taraya Om Kankani Kankani Rochani Rochani Trotani Trotani Trasani Trasani Pratihana Pratihana Sawakama Paramparanim Sawasattva Nancha Soha. Om praso chuso dadaso damiso ningola chukalaza kamshantam bepe soha. Om praso chuso dadaso damiso ningola chukalaza kamshantam bepe soha. Om praso chuso dadaso damiso ningola chukalaza kamshantam bepe soha. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Savatre Lokya Prativishtaya Buddhaya Te Nama Tayata Om Drum 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 Shodaya Shodaya Vishodaya Vishodaya Asama Santama Avara Sparana Gati Gagana Sobawa Vishude Abhishintu Mam Sawatata Gata Sugata Vara Vachana Amrita Abhishekara Mahamudra Mantra Pade Ahara Ahara Mama Ayu Sandari Shodaya Shodaya Vishodaya Vishodaya Gagana Sobawa Vishude Ushnisha Vijaya Parishude Shrashma Rashni Sanchodite Sawatata Gata Avalokini Shat Paramita Parapurani Sawatata Gata Mate Dashi Bhumi Pratishtita Sawatata Gata Hridaya Atishtana Atishtite Mudre Mudre Mahamudra Vajrakaya Samantana Parishuddha Sawakama Avarana Vishuddha Pratin Vatvatana Mama Ayu Vishuddhe Sawa Tathagata Sama Atishtana Atishtite Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Vimuni Vimuni Mata Vimuni Mati Mati Mahamati Mamati Sumati Tathagata Buddha Koti Parishuddhe Viputa Buddhishuddhe He He Jaya Jaya Vijaya Vijaya Smara Smara Spara Spara Sparaya Sparaya Sawa Buddha Atishtana Atishtiti Shuddhe Shuddhe Buddhe Buddhe Vajra Vajra Mahavajra Suvajra Vajra Jaya Gaba Vijaya Gaba Vajra Jala Gabe Vajra Bhave Vajra Sambhave Vajra Vajrini Vajra Bhavantu Mama Sharira Sawa Satantya Kaya Parishuddhi Bhavantu Me Sada Sawa Gati Parishuddhischa Sawa Tathagatascha Mama Samaya Mama Samasvayantu Buddhaya Buddhaya Siddhaya Siddhaya Bodhaya Bodhaya Vibodhaya Vibodhaya Mochaya Mochaya Vimochaya Vimochaya Shodhaya Shodhaya Vishodhaya Vishodhaya Samanta Mochaya Mochaya Samanta Rashmi Parishuddhe Sarvatathagata Hridaya Atishtana Atishtite Mudre Mudre Mahamudre Mahamudra Manti Panisoha Om
Homage to you above the three worlds.
E così
Om Drum Drum Drum.
purifica, purifica, purifica completamente, ineguagliabile, onnisciente, andando emani luce, natura dello spazio, completamente pura, per favore concedimi i pieni poteri. Per favore.
Please, all the Tathagatas and those that live in bliss with the nectar of the Supreme Word, please give me full powers with the words of mantra of the Great Sigil. Please take with any means. You that sustain my entire life, purify, purify, completely purify, completely purify. Nature of space, completely pure, totally victorious and completely pure. Stay on my head. You that emanate infinite rays, Tathagata, omniscient, that you realize the six perfections, mother of all Tathagatas, that stays in the 10th states, essence of all the Tathagatas. Oh, you that, please bless me, sigil, sigil, supreme sigil. Purify all the karmic obstacle, please. Give me back my life. You are blessed, are
Capacità, capacità, grande capacità, completa capacità, completa capacità, grande completa capacità. Intelligenza, intelligenza, suprema intelligenza, mia intelligenza, buona intelligenza, natura effettiva, perfetto fine, Signora completamente pura, tu che hai sviluppato la completa conoscenza, la pura. Oh, conquistatrice, conquistatrice, conquista, conquista, conquista completamente, ricorda, ricorda, incrementa, incrementa, per favore incrementa, tu che sei benedetta con le benedizioni di tutti gli illuminati, pura, pura, illuminata, illuminata, adamantina, adamantina, grandiosa Signora adamantina, la buona adamantina, con l'essenza adamantina, con l'essenza vittoriosa, con l'essenza completamente vittoriosa, con l'essenza adamantina fiammeggiante, sorgente adamantina, sorta dal diamante, l'adamantina, Signora adamantina. Per favore, fa sì che il mio corpo sia adamantino, fa sì che i corpi di tutti gli esseri senzienti siano completamente puri, fa sì che tutti i miei pensieri siano sempre completamente puri, possano tutti Tathagata rivitalizzarmi, risvegliata, Signora risvegliata, realizzata, la realizzata, fa sì che io mi realizzi completamente, libera completamente, purifica completamente libera, splendida, completamente pura. Tu che sei benedetta con le benedizioni dell'essenza di tutti i Tathagata. Sigillo, grande sigillo, con le parole del mantra del grande sigillo possa la base essere stabilita.
Om Drum Soha, Om Amrite Ayudade Soha, Om Drum Soha, Om Amrite Ayudade Soha, Om Drum Soha, Om Amrite Ayudade Soha. Namo Ratnataraya, Namo Anajara Sagara, Verochana Vyua Rajaya, Tathagataya Ahate, Samya Sambuddhaya, Nama Sawa Tathagata Pye Ahate Pye Samya Sambuddhaya, Nama Arya Avalokiteshvaraya, Bodhisapaya, Mahasapaya, Mahakarunikaya, Tayata Om Dara Dara Diri Diri Duru Duru Iti Vale Chale Chale Pra Kusume Kusume Vare Ili Mili Chiti Apanaye Soha Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Vagishvari Mum Om Vagishvari Mum Om Vagishvari Mum Om Vagishvari Mum Om Bhadrapani Hum Om Bhadrapani Hum Om Bhadrapani Hum Om Bhadrapani Hum Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatishta Trido Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuratto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayasa Sarva Karma Sutsame Chitta Sriyam Kuruhun Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Bajra Mame Mutsaha Bajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Dena Jetsun Lama Tuje Chelana Masin Chiwe Dukenam Senta Saja Lame Poha Nidonayanda Jarvedanagi Da Peshindu Drovajingi Lo Da Peshindu Drovajingi Lo. Se al momento della morte Non
Ok.
avessi completato il punto del sentiero, facciamo insieme,
Sì.
chiedo la vostra benedizione
per poter essere condotto ad una terra pura tramite l'applicazione delle 5 forze oppure tramite i potenti metodi dell'illuminazione, il trasferimento della mente del guru.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Chonten Gyalwa Shitro
Lazzo
Anis Kunenberg Benders Chiwe Jipe Jale Jel Sol Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Chonten Gyalwa Shitro Lasso Anis Kunenberg Benders, actually you should say Chiwe, no, Badu Jipe Chale Jel So Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Chonten Gyalwa Shitro Lasso Anis Kunenberg Benders Bado Jipe Dranle Jel So Padona Mwashawa Gyumata Gyel Se Gyel Kihimanolam Dente Dewa Chendu Kene Trupayi Madashi Gihidrowa Dengyurchi Denini Sanjamata Dapeshi Jodewa Chen Pevenim Pose Drule Zutikye Wahatem Parasho. Non appena si presenta l'apparenza del bardo,
grazie agli 8 bodhisattva che rivelano il sentiero infallibile, si manifesta una nascita su Kavati, la terra della beatitudine, che tutti gli esseri migratori delle terre impure siano tratti in salvo e così rinascere nella suprema terra pura su Kavati, nel ventre del loto, che possano avere una nascita miracolosa.
Okay.
Visualizziamo Guru Buddha Amitabha Rinpoche sulla cima del capo della persona deceduta e mentre recitiamo Om Mani Padme Hum, Om A Amitabha Hum, immaginiamo che la sua coscienza venga trasferita attraverso la corona della sua testa nel cuore di Amitabha e si mescoli inseparabilmente con esso e poi sia portata da Amitabha nella terra della beatitudine.
Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Amitabha 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 Hum.
Hum.
Om Amitabha.
Om Mani Padme Hum crea un ponte di arcobaleno. La coscienza è stata trasferita. Ora visualizziamo che il corpo si dissolva in un arcobaleno della natura delle 5 saggezze. Immaginiamo che la forma ordinaria della persona si esaurisca, che ottenga il passaporto dell'illuminazione di una delle 5 famiglie di Buddha e che vada in una terra pura.
Om Ahamoga Siddhi Hum. Om Ahamoga Siddhi Hum. Om Ahamoga Siddhi Hum. Om Ahamoga Siddhi Hum. Om Ahamoga Siddhi. Ok, la paura del Signore Ani si trasforma nella saggezza che tutto compie
di Guru Buddha Moga Siddhi.
Om Aratna Sambhava Hum. Om Aratna Sambhava Hum. Om Aratna Sambhava Hum. Om Aratna Sambhava Hum. Om Aratna Sambhava. L'orgoglio e l'avarizia di Signora Ani si trasformano nella saggezza dell'equanimità di Guru Buddha Ratna Sambhava. Om Amitabha Hum. Om Amitabha Hum. Om Amitabha Hum. Om Amitabha Hum. Om Amitabha. Il desiderio e l'insoddisfazione della Signora Ani si trasformano nella saggezza del discernimento di Guru Buddha Amitabha. Om Mahavairocana Hum. Om Mahavairocana Hum. Om Avairocana Hum. Om Avairocana Hum. Om Avairocana Hum. L'ignoranza e la chiusura mentale della Signora Ani si trasforma nella saggezza simile allo specchio di Guru Buddha Vairocana. Om Asamayatara Hum. 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 L'elemento vento impuro della Signora Ani diventa la madre vento puro. Om Alochana Hum. Om Alochana Hum. Om Alochana Hum. Om Alochana.
Lochana.
Om Alochana. L'alimento terra impuro della Signora Ani diventa la madre terra pura. Om Ahamamaki Hum. Om Ahamamaki Hum. Om Ahamamaki Hum. Om Ahamamaki Hum. Om Ahamamaki. L'alimento acqua impuro della persona di Signora Ani diventa la madre acqua pura. Om Apandravasini Hum. 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 L'elemento fuoco impuro della Signora Ani diventa la madre fuoco puro. Om Akashdevi Hum. Om Akash Devi Hum. Om Akash Devi Hum. Om Akash Devi. Om Akash Devi. L'elemento spazio impuro della signora Annie diventa la madre spazio puro.
Alla fine pensiamo che il corpo, la parola e la mente ordinari della persona deceduta della signora Annie sono stati purificati ed essa raggiungerà sicuramente un corpo, una parola e una mente puri. Poi dedichiamo tutti i meriti di questa pratica alla rinascita della signora Annie nel regno di Sukhavati, la terra delle beatitudini.
Kyoni lama, kyoni yidan, kyoni kadro chukyonte, dene sunte janju baradu, kyumi kyashemi solwe, dida baradu chimetaya, tuje chakyu sunzola, si shi jidro nudru kunso, Tengi hidro choba chosun, kyoni lama, kyoni
Idam kyoni kadro chukyonte, dene sunte janchu baradu, kyumi kyashemi solwe, dida baradu chimetaya, tuje chakyu sunzola, si shi jidro nudru kunso, Tengi hidro sopa chosun. Tu sei mio guru. Tu sei mio Tu sei il mio
yidam.
guru, tu sei il mio idam, tu sei la mia dakini ed il
protettore
protettore
del
del Dharma. Da questo istante sino all'illuminazione, oltre a te non mi serve altro rifugio. In questa vita, nel bardo e nelle esistenze future, trattienimi col tuo gancio di compassione. Liberami dalla paura del samsara, del nirvana, concedimi ogni realizzazione, sii mio amico fedele e proteggimi dalle interferenze.
Detalenso sowata petu lame kusuntu gine namle. Du si oser karma tinga sun, rinda chi chahajune daniki. Ne sorindan chicha timpale, dripshida chinada wanshito, kushito chilamani pashi, yeshin timpe jingila pagyu. Per il potere di questa triplice richiesta, nettare e raggi di luce bianchi, rossi e blu scuro scaturiscono uno dopo l'altro e tutti insieme dai centri di corpo, parola e mente del mio guru. Si assorbono nei miei 3 centri corrispondenti singolarmente e poi tutti insieme. I 4 ostacoli vengono purificati, vengono date le 4 iniziazioni pure e vengono ricevuti i segni dei 4 corpi. Una sorridente replica del guru si dissolve in me, che in tal modo sono colmato di benedizioni. Om Tahare Tutare Ture Mama Ayur Punye Gyana Pushri Kuru Yesoha. Om Tahare Tutare Ture Mama Ayur Punye Gyana Pushri Kuru Yesoha. Om Tahare Tutare Ture Mama Ayur Punye Gyana Pushri Kuru Yesoha. Nimodele Sendele Nime Guyandele Kshin Nitsen Tatu Dele Pel Concho Sungi Jingilo Concho Sungi Nudrutsol, Concho Sungi Tashisho. All'alba,
O al tramonto, di notte durante il giorno, possano i 3 gioielli concederci le loro benedizioni, possano aiutarci ad ottenere tutte le realizzazioni e cospargere il sentiero della nostra vita con molti segni di buon auspicio.
At dawn or dusk,
At night and midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.
Okay, any Netherlands people here?
Any what?
No? Okay. Okay, no, okay, never mind, okay. Okay, so this is the, Lama Ganshin composed this rainbow bridge. It's actually very much similar to the funeral prayers that we do in Tibetan, okay? But he made one that's like accessible that all of us can do, okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, it's in Italian, Spanish, English, Italian, Portuguese, many, many languages. Yeah, we still need to do in German and Dutch, by the way. Huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, this we need to translate also German and Dutch, any other language you like, and we need to put on our website because Rinpoche made this. He was very, he wanted, because, okay, all the time, unfortunately, our loved ones pass away, okay? So we need some way we can help them, okay? Yeah, of course, very nice if we can pray, contact the Lama and so on, but we also need to be able to do ourselves, yeah, okay? Also, actually, it would be very nice, actually, here we do, people call, yeah, can do this, yeah? This is as well as Lama Chirpa, not instead of Lama Chirpa. This is the prayers to be done when somebody actually dies, okay, yeah? And then after that, of course, then we also have 49 days praying together in the Guru Puja. So it's also when somebody dies, you need to offer like lights, yeah, okay? So for practically speak, if you're not around a Dharma center, you can go to the church, no? You can like the Catholics do, you put lights, you put incense, you put flowers, yeah? And you offer a lot of light for your loved one, okay? Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. So we do like this, okay? Also, it's important when somebody dies to actually make a material offering. It's not for us, maybe like fruits, flowers, something. It's for them, Rinpoche used to say offering with substance is very different from offering with no substance, yeah? So you should offer like a sog offering or something, yeah? You for example, you can send them, it's not for us, it's for your loved one. You send the money, we buy the offering, and we dedicate to your loved one, yeah, okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is very important. This is one of the last things that Lama Ganshin told me to write down, I was like, for years we had to do this, and he, anyway, he left this as a gift to all of us, okay? So now we need to use, okay? Okay, thank you.
Ok, questo che è chiamato il ponte di Arcobaleni è una delle ultime sadhane che Rinpoche ha scritto, e quindi è un ennesimo regalo che Lama Ganshin Rinpoche ci ha fatto, ed è estremamente importante, molto simile alle preghiere che i tibetani fanno in tibetano. Comunque la cosa importante
But this is better because we can understand it, yeah?
Questa anzi è ancora meglio perché almeno la possiamo capire. Però è importante perché appunto sicuramente durante la nostra vita è assolutamente normale, qualcuno dei nostri cari, i nostri amici, insomma persone vicine a noi sicuramente lasciano il corpo, no? Questo succede in continuazione, quindi Rinpoche ci ha dato questo mezzo in modo che possiamo fare noi qualche cosa per la persona che sta lasciando o ha appena lasciato il corpo. Certo, se abbiamo la fortuna di andare in un monastero, di avere dei lama o dei monaci a disposizione, che però è abbastanza raro, almeno possiamo fare questo. Un'altra cosa...
What happens if they middle of the night or something, yeah? We need to be able to do as well, yeah? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Quindi non solo la vicinanza o meno, però magari c'è qualcuno che chiama nel mezzo della notte, dobbiamo immediatamente avere un antidoto, comunque un metodo da utilizzare. Le pratiche che si fanno chiaramente durante i 49 giorni cosiddetti del bardo, che seguono appunto l'uscita del corpo. Un'altra cosa estremamente importante in questo momento è offrire la luce, offrire una candela, offrire una luce. Se noi non abbiamo la possibilità di andare in un monastero, eccetera, qualsiasi parte, andiamo in una chiesa qualsiasi e offriamo una luce che appunto...
They have all those things you can just put money, no? And light the lights you do for your loved one, no?
Sì, come per esempio in chiesa ci sono questi ripiani di metallo con tutte le candele che si possono accendere, appunto è molto utile perché in un momento di buio in realtà aiuta il passaggio della coscienza. È anche molto utile fare delle offerte. Quello di fare le offerte oppure fare una donazione a un centro, a un lama, a dei monaci che possano fare delle offerte materiali, non ha niente a che vedere, questo Rinpoche l'ha ripetuto moltissime volte, col comprare le cose da mangiare, eccetera, ma perché noi apparteniamo a un regno materiale, ordinario, umano, quindi dobbiamo creare una base con i nostri stessi strumenti, con i nostri stessi mezzi, no? Quindi è molto importante cercare di fare proprio offerte proprio per sostenere, accompagnare questa coscienza in questo passaggio.
Actually, fortunately now we have Nalso Dharma centers in many countries, yeah? So you to your local center, yeah, okay, if you like, I don't know, like in Brazil, Holland, wherever, they're all doing Guru Puja, so you can ask them to buy offerings and make Guru Puja Sog, yeah? Of course you can also send here, but also in your local center, wherever that might be, yeah?
Quindi noi adesso abbiamo la fortuna di avere tantissimi centri ovunque nel mondo, quindi se non si ha la possibilità di venire fisicamente qui, magari ci sarà un altro centro anche fuori Italia, in altre situazioni che noi possiamo dove possiamo andare personalmente, oppure possiamo chiamare, mandare delle offerte, e soprattutto sarebbe buono fare queste offerte per acquistare appunto lo Zog della Guru Puja, che è un impegno che Lama Ganchen Rinpoche ha dato a tutti i suoi centri dal 2001, da fare tutti i giorni. Tra altre cose noi abbiamo anche, comunque al di là di questo, abbiamo anche questo libro che adesso voi conoscete, la maggior parte di voi conosce, dove si possono scrivere o si possono far scrivere le dediche che noi richiediamo, e tra queste c'è anche proprio la dedica per le coscienze che sono nel bardo, e quindi queste dediche saranno lette per 49 giorni.
Okay, so then after 1 year, also after the anniversary of our loved one's death, yeah, we have to do again Guru Puja for them, yeah? Yeah.
Poi, finito il periodo di bardo, ok, un anno dopo, dal momento il primo anniversario, un anno dopo del decesso della persona, dobbiamo di nuovo fare delle pratiche, come dire, per liberare ancora di più.
Okay, there's like in this practice many beautiful things. There's called the 5 mantras to help the dying or the dead, yeah, like Mitrugpa, which is a form of Akshobhya, Ushnisha Vijaya. There's 5 special mantras, okay, yeah, which you can do when the people is dying or dead, yeah, do before they die, yeah, and to help them, yeah, okay. Like Ushnisha Vijaya, this is the mantra to take away suffering, yeah, this very long one, yeah.
In questa pratica ci sono anche 5 mantra molto speciali, in particolare c'è il mantra di Akshobhya e c'è il mantra di Ushnisha Vijaya. Ambedue sono estremamente importanti perché possono essere usati sia nel processo della morte, quindi quando la coscienza è nel mezzo del processo del riassorbimento degli elementi e sta per uscire, oppure quando la persona è già deceduta. Soprattutto il mantra di Ushnisha Vijaya è estremamente potente, è un dharani, è estremamente potente perché è in grado di cancellare le sofferenze.
Okay, so let's say your loved one's not Buddhist, probably is not, no, but anyway, you have funeral, no? So anyway, when you go to see the coffin, you blow. You say this mantra and you blow on it, yeah? I mean, quietly, yeah? And then the energy goes there, you know?
Per noi occidentali, che di solito usiamo i funerali, le bare, eccetera, eccetera, magari non possiamo fare tutto questo rituale come
Well,
si
we
fa.
do separate, but anyway, you go there, you
Sì.
blow on the yeah?
Comunque possiamo appunto andare vicino alla bara e in modo silente mormorare, soffiando sopra la bara e recitando in modo silenzioso questi mantra.
Okay, then there's very famous prayer to go to Amitabha Pure Land, yeah? Okay.
Poi c'è una preghiera molto famosa che aiuta a raggiungere la terra pura di Amitabha.
And then, actually very beautiful. May the person's suffering be left behind, and, may their negative become positive, yeah? We always say that the 5 fathers and the 5 mothers, is the way to enlightenment. So it's every time, now, later on when we're dying next life, yeah? So the jealousy becomes amoghasiddhi, the miserliness becomes ratnasambha. It's so beautiful, actually, you know? Okay, yeah. I personally find the Buddhist prayers very positive, you know, very uplifting, you know, okay?
Comunque, ci sono appunto tantissime preghiere bellissime e soprattutto quelle che, scusatemi, vabbè, e soprattutto quelle che trasformano appunto i difetti mentali, con l'augurio appunto che i difetti mentali della persona che sta morendo o che è appena morta rimangano indietro e che si possano addirittura trasformare nelle qualità. Questa è la pratica che noi facciamo tutti i giorni, no? Quindi la trasformazione dei difetti mentali in qualità dei dhyani Buddha, oppure appunto la trasformazione, la purificazione degli elementi impuri in elementi puri. Quindi possa la gelosia diventare coraggio, possa l'avarizia diventare generosità, eccetera, eccetera. Ma basta.
When we sing Om Mani Padme Hum, no? We imagine like a rainbow bridge, a bridge of light, and all the doors to the wrong way, like, I don't know, all the negative places are shut by the mantra of Om Mani Padme Hum. So then the person's mind goes to the Sukhavati or the best place for them to evolve, you know? Okay.
Che cosa significa appunto il titolo, il ponte di arcobaleno? È perché con le nostre preghiere, con questa pratica, si cerca di creare mentalmente proprio un ponte che porti alle terre pure, di Sukhavati o altre terre pure, e che tutte quelle che sono lungo il viaggio, lungo il percorso, delle porte che invece portano a luoghi negativi, inferiori, quindi i 3 reami inferiori, sono completamente bloccate e noi aiutiamo a fare questo passaggio.
When we do the Amitabha mantra, we imagine that the person's mind is lifted up, yeah? Like, you know, in self-healing we go like this, no? Okay? Like this, yeah? So Rinpoche always explained this is actually the mantra for freeing people in the bardo, yeah? Sorry, the mudra, yeah? So you have to go like this and imagine that the person's mind goes to Amitabha Pure Land. And then they say you appear in a lotus and the lotus has to open, so like open the door so you can go to the Pure Land, yeah? Okay?
Quindi spesso Rinpoche ha ripetuto appunto che questo mantra che ha appena fatto vedere Lama Carolina,
Like in self-healing we're doing like this, aren't we? Like this, yeah?
Sì.
This one you just go like, yeah.
Nell'autoguarigione noi facciamo la rotazione, il mudra della rotazione dei petali del loto, ok? Mentre qui appunto c'è questo loto che è chiuso e sboccia battendo appunto i polsi, e questo, come dire, aiuta la schiusura di questa parte di coscienza, e continuando a farlo appunto non solo si schiude, ma la si spinge verso l'alto, verso Sukhavati o altre terre pure.
You know, Lama Ganshin always said he want many healers, no? So we can all do this, okay? Pray for our loved one. This is doing something really useful for people, no? Okay.
Comunque Rinpoche ha detto che appunto, ma veramente spesso diceva che tutti noi dobbiamo diventare dei guaritori, ma comunque molti di noi hanno anche già queste capacità, ma anche se non fossimo già dei guaritori, già fare questo tipo di pratiche, fare questa pratica è di grandissima, profonda guarigione e aiuto.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, okay.
Grazie.
Okay. Om Tahare Tutare Ture Mama Ayur Punye Gyana Pushtin Kuru Yesoha. Om Tahare Tutare Ture Mama Ayur Punye Gyana Pushtin Kuru Yesoha. Om Tahare Tutare Ture Mama Ayur Punye Gyana Pushtin Kuru Yesoha. Nimodele Sendele Nime Guyahande Lekshin Nitsen Taktu Delekpel Kuncho Sunki Jingillo Kuncho Sunki Godrutso, Kuncho Sunki Hitashi. O al tramonto, di notte o durante il giorno, possano i 3 gioielli concederci le loro benedizioni,
possano aiutarci ad ottenere tutte le realizzazioni e cospargere il sentiero della nostra vita con molti segni di buon auspicio.
Ok, buon appetito.
Buon
Ok.
appetito,
Luce
buonanotte.
zampo per
Yutashi tu centem pehetin le yagoda, peghiedro lo zampeze pace, pal della meshella chuparbul.
Om ahum.
Om ahum. Om ahum.
Okay, please enjoy the yoga of eating. Yeah?
Per favore, fate bene, appunto, divertitevi con lo yoga del mangiare, del
Ci
gusto.
vediamo domani. And
E ci
grazie
vediamo
agli
domani.
astrologi.
Grazie agli astrologi.
Nune. Okay, this sadhana, everybody can have it. It's free, yeah? Yeah? Okay,
Sì.
I'll put it in the Nalso, what's it called? Nalso